Alright guys, we are officially live for Not So Stock Gaming's Open Bracket Tournament on July 4th. Happy Independence Day. You can see the bracket there on the screen now. We have 4 first round games with 4 teams with buys. This is what happens when 12 teams check in. We'll be getting the first round game underway momentarily. This is Dark Corp streaming for Not So Stock Gaming tonight. I apologize if there are any technical difficulties. We are in the middle of a massive move, and we are streaming with some interesting equipment tonight. Get the stream muted in the background there. I apologize. And we'll get a game started up here momentarily. The first game we're going to have is going to be Ghost House versus High Five. That is the A bracket matchup. Now, for anyone joining us tonight, we do thank you for coming out on this holiday Friday. Whether you are participating or viewing, we are glad to have you out. We've got 9 minutes now until matches are set to begin. The bracket has been released and finalized, as you guys can see there. We've got Ghost House versus High Five, Team Envy versus Philosat Lucian, the Dung Clan versus MURICA Gaming, Mimic Vision versus Infinium Gaming, and we have 4 teams with round 1 buys. Have this game up from Xcypher, the team captain of Ghost House, momentarily. I'll get an invite hopefully, and we will be good to go ASAP. Once again, this is Dark Corp from Not So Stock Gaming, streaming our Open Bracket Tournament tonight. Happy Independence Day. We have a first round game forming up here. All of Ghost House appears to be ready to go, while they have not yet sent an invite to their opponents on High Five. Let's double check the roster for High Five here. Just take that and paste it to them. Thought I copied it. Failed, apparently, like a boss. This is what I want. And this is where I'm sending it. Alright, once again, this is Not So Stock Gaming's Open Bracket Tournament. This is going to be round 1 getting underway momentarily. We are now 7 minutes out from the start of matches. We're going to be catching Ghost House versus High Five in memory of Pinky. Gonna have to ask about that one. We have reports that Pinky is one of their deceased friends, which explains the in memory of, though slightly curious about the story's validity from those comments. Alright, we've got 4 members from the second team and 6 minutes until the games can start. Looks like things are nice and calm in the chat. Nobody looking for help. Means I can get back to this game. Looks like we have a 5th member here. So I'm just going to fill some time here for you guys. Ghost House is a previous contender from our tournament, while High Five, in memory of Pinky, appears to be a completely new team to our tournaments. I do not recognize any of the summoner names, not that that means a whole lot, as we have more than 200 summoners a week participating, and I cannot memorize everybody's names. Alright. Once again, guys, this is Dark Orb streaming tonight's tournament for Not So Stock Gaming. Our regular shoutcasters are unfortunately absent, as this is MURICA Day. So we thank all of you for coming out tonight on this holiday Friday for our open bracket tournament. We've got 12 teams contending tonight. Hopefully everybody's getting their round 1 matches formed into those lobbies. I do have Clan Ren Sally handling the majority of admin stuff tonight for us. And we're going to be catching the Ghost House versus High Five game starting in roughly 4 minutes, as both teams are ready, sitting here waiting for us to get the tournament officially started. Thank you again for coming out, guys. We appreciate everybody joining us on this holiday weekend. This is Not So Stock Gaming's open bracket tournament, and this is Dark Orb shoutcasting for you tonight. We've got 12 teams competing. Our round 1 is composed of 8 teams, which will be vying for a round 2 position versus the randomized buys, who are Last Level Entertainment, Caliware, Explicit, and Team Pow Pow. Waiting in those round 2 positions for the first round to finish up here. We understand that giving people a bye, not into the semis, but 1 round closer to the semis, especially with such a short bracket, can seem a little bit unfair, but the way this works is if we gave them all round 1 matches, we would end up with 6 round 2 finalists and 3 semi-finalists. Other way around, I can't do math. We end up with 6 round 1 teams and then 6 round 1 matches, and then 3 round 2 matches, and then the math does not work out when you have an even number of teams. Even number of teams, as you guys see with 12, we would need either 8 or 16 to have a perfect round 1 with no buys. I mean, I guess we can take 32 as well, but it's a smaller tournament tonight. It is America Day, Independence Day, whatever you will call it, the July 4th long weekend. We have one member from Ghost House here, having ditched the lobby, but they will be back, they say. Let's double check those team rosters here, find ourselves some Ghost House. He is on their roster, so I hope he's relogging into the same account. Yes, he is. And we are now 1 minute from start times. We're going to have our round 1 match starting momentarily, guys. I apologize for the noise in the background. As I said, we are in the middle of a move at my house. Not So Stock Gaming is getting unofficial headquarters this week, so we will have our stream being maintained from our new location next weekend. A little bit of a hectic week for us here. worries, guys. Alright, looks like we are ready to get this round 1 game started. This is going to be Ghost House vs. High Five, and we are into Champion Select. Still no teams in that Twitch chat complaining that they missed the check-in or that they cannot find their opponents. Good stuff, good stuff. We've got a Jax ban. How standard is that, guys? Jax just does not make it through in the round 1. We only really see him coming out in the finals. Followed by a Vi ban, of course. And Yasuo getting taken out of the game. Ghost House knows what they don't want to play against. They're really quick on those bans. Looks like High Five's taking their time to figure out this second ban here. Turns out to be Lucian. Not a standard ban, but not a bad ban by far. Lucian's a really strong ADC right now. Lots of people enjoy playing him. He's the main of many, many summoners. At least if you're an ADC. And a Lee Sin ban being the final champion taken out of the game by Ghost House here. Three really strong, really standard bans coming out of Ghost House. And 2 so far. I guess Vi is a fairly standard ban, as well as Kassadin, their last ban there. But the Lucian kind of surprised me a little bit. Still a great ban, though. And we are officially into champion selection, as X-Cypher is getting ready to pick that champion. I forget who on Ghost House plays which lanes here, or I would tell you what he's going to pick. They are a returning team, a regular community contender. Taking his time locking in that first champion. Gonna have a Maokai showing there. See if that gets locked in with only 1 second remaining. Looks like we might have a Maokai jungler. With Braum making it through the banning phase, getting locked in by High Five. And a Lulu showing in their champion select pool. We'll see if it gets locked in. It does. That's going to be a mid Lulu, guys. Or a top Lulu. Because that Braum is definitely playing support. Unless we're going to see him coming out in a random role we've not seen before. And Zig's getting locked in. And a Zyra. Likely a Zyra support with a Zig showing for Ghost House. Of course, neither of those are actually locked in yet, just showing on the champion select screen as Ziggs gets locked in here. Some really non-standard picks coming out of Ghost House tonight. Well, I shouldn't call Ziggs and Zyra not standard. They are 2 very strong champions we get to see fairly often. Ziggs is a dominant mid laner, while Zyra makes a very great support. The Stranglethorn is locking down up to an entire team if used right. It's like Quinn and Evelyn might come out here. Going to be potentially an Evelyn jungle with that Quinn Braum bottom lane. Did they give MF a rework? No, that's a Caitlyn. They gave Caitlyn a visual rework. Look at that. Apparently, I am behind on patches. I did update my client tonight before starting this stream. I have been out of the internet for the last week and a bit, getting us all moved over to our new location. Some interesting choices coming out of Ghost House. Looks like he's just trolling that champion pick, not actually going to lock in any of those randoms. What is that? That's an Urgot. They gave a bunch of people new icons. The team comp here forming up nicely for High Five, with the Lulu mid lane stopping all-ins with Braum there as well, and the Caitlyn for the bottom lane. A very strong bottom lane potentially from High Five with an Evelynn jungler. Just all around great team comp so far. We'll see if that Quinn gets locked in, which would potentially make her or Caitlyn mid with the Lulu going top. Get Aurelia locked in with a Corki from Ghost House. Their team comp, of course, coming together. The Maokai likely being in the jungle with Corki and Zyra in the bottom lane, followed by Ziggs in the mid lane with Aurelia top. There is a lot of jump, a lot of all-in from the blue team, and there is a lot of stop that all-in from the purple team. We'll see if these team compositions make a huge difference to the game. Looks like High Five potentially counter-picking the team comps here. Ryze might get locked in. Alright, so that is definitely a mid-lane Lulu with Ryze in the top lane. From that teleport anyways. I apologize, I'm not more familiar with all of these champions and how they interact with each other. Being a silver player, it's probably why I'm stuck in silver. Alright, we have 30 seconds now for summoners to select their runes and masteries, and then we'll get into that 3-minute spectator delay. And we'll have our round 1 game for Not So Stock Gaming's open bracket tournament underway. I'm looking forward to watching this bottom lane matchup. The Braum-Caitlyn pair should be really strong. Braum potentially stopping a lot of that Zyra poke. Braum is always a strong champion to watch, fun to see played. As he is still fairly new, he's a little bit different to see, getting banned out quite frequently. Alright, 2.5 minutes until this round 1 game hits load screen, and we will be officially underway in round 1 for Not So Stock Gaming's July 4th open bracket tournament. Once again, happy MURICA Day, however you want to say it. It's Independence Day, I know. Alright, so taking a look at these summoner spells, we've got Flash on every champion. Flash still a really strong summoner spell. The escape or the engage from it really useful in team fights and in ganks. The spread on other summoner spells seems pretty even. Both sides having the teleport in the top lane. Both ADCs taking heal. We do have a mismatch in the mid lane though, where Lulu has heal versus Ziggs' Ignite. Ziggs' Ignite? pluralized S words. Pronunciation is difficult. Ziggs, why you make life hard. So we'll see if the summoner spell difference makes a huge difference for that mid lane. It's going to be a playstyle difference for sure, with Lulu stopping the all-in attacks and being a great counter champion to most all-in team comps. And Ziggs being a really strong poke champion who also has the ability to lock down his opponents, get that jungler enough time to get there and give him that all-in that Lulu is supposed to stop. See if she is able to utilize her heal and her general skill sets to escape ganks, or to potentially just win her lane. I apologize, guys, I'm just trying to fill some time here as we hit load screen. I do not know these champions nearly as well as I should, nor their skill sets, nor how they match up against each other. I'd pull open lol counter or lol nexus, whatever the little counter tool is that I traditionally use here. But I am operating with one screen right now. It's a little bit weird, a little bit difficult. Alright, look at those trims. We've got one diamond coming out on Ghost House. Surprised there's not more last season diamonds, as High 5 seem to have some current diamond ranked players. Congratulations to those guys on improving their rankings this season. 2 unranked summoners, 1 from either team here. Oh, that Uncle Rise skin. See if they can win this first matchup, make their way all the way through the finals, take first place, and then next time it will be a triumphant Rise skin. High hopes for a first round game, but someone's got to win it. We are now only seconds out from hitting that map. So everybody's nearing 100%. There we go. We're into the game. Round 1 has now officially started. Apparently 3 minutes ago, since we are behind with spectator delay. But the stream is now into the game. We've got High 5 pinging out the bottom side of the map, and pinging out an invade potentially, that red buff on blue side. Looks like their whole team's gonna run in, Braum leading the way, but Ghost House is set up to defend that. Ziggs gets caught out. Ziggs goes down. 45 seconds of the game. That is first blood for High 5. Evelyn walking around into that bush. She has not been seen yet. Comes in onto the Maokai. She's all alone though. Her team's sitting back, playing a little bit more defense after picking up that first blood. Looks like they're going to be content to go for their blue buff now, get Evelyn the leash she needs. Start that game. They are ahead by 400 gold. Surprised it's not a little bit more than that from all the assists that would have gone through. They did fairly recently modify how First Blood works, especially at the earlier points in the game. It's not worth nearly as much as it used to be. As we're seeing here, that gold difference is not as high as it could be, as I do believe there were 4 if not 5 assists going through. Looks like, there couldn't be 5 assists because somebody has to get the kill. There was 1 kill and 4 assists, meaning everybody got assist gold, but they're still only up by 400. See if they can maintain that gold lead throughout the game. Leashes are now heading to their lane. Maokai takes the blue buff down. Evelyn takes the blue buff down. High 5 a little bit late to the lane. They're going to hit level 2 behind Ghost House. Corki and Zyra will have a chance to potentially use a double skill before High 5 has their level 2. which could be a good situation for them. Though Zyra getting poked down a fair amount, already sitting on half health, has to pop a health pot. Caitlyn taking some pressure as well. Decent exchanges in this bottom lane. I will get the scoreboard reorganized for everybody, so there's no confusion here as to who is laning where. Alright, that looks good. Ryze appears to be pushing this, the Aurelia. He is definitely out-farming her. And Evelyn's going for the gank in that top lane. Even with the Aurelia pushed in, we'll see if that can be successful, or if we're just going to keep her off of the farm a little bit longer. Evelyn falls off the gank without even showing in lane potentially, though she may have been seen. Heading right for that mid lane, as bottom is getting pushed in. See if she heads bottom after this. Ghost House is in a great position to get ganked, though they do have vision in that river bush. Evelyn standing there, not sure if she's been seen yet by the Ziggs. From the way he's playing, I doubt she's been seen. Though, maybe she has. Caitlyn taking a punishment in the bottom lane. Managing to do a great job keeping up in farm, while Corki and Zyra push that lane in. Wow, that is surprising. Aurelia has actually managed to nearly double Ryze's farm while after that failed Evelyn gank. Seems like we may have caught that lane at an awkward moment to have Ryze dominating her that badly. She goes in on Ryze. Not going to be enough for a kill as she does fall off. He comes back in on her. Still exchanging in that top lane. Both summoners below half health. Evelyn in the bottom lane, looking to set up for this gank. Does not find the position she wants to be in. Just sitting around stealing experience. Seems like Evelyn's having some trouble getting ganks off. Though we also haven't seen MURICA come out yet. At least not for a major gank. We are 5 minutes into the game now. First Blood being the only kill, which was set up with 4 buffs. There's some action onto that Zyra, but she manages to get out. I do believe she burnt Flash. Yes, she did. Zyra flashes out of that after Braum engages onto her, with the Evelyn in that bottom lane still. Teleport from Aurelia heading top. It looks to me like they could engage on this Braum for a kill, but it's not happening. I apologize, my phone was going off there, so I had to check who it was. Nothing I can't deal with later. Back to the game. The goal difference has evened out here. That First Blood not playing out for high 5 the way they would have liked it to. Corki now up 10 farm on the Caitlyn, as well as Aurelia up 10 farm on Ryze. Jungler's fairly even. Mid lane's fairly even. Just that 1 kill on Ziggs. No turrets yet. The way this is being played out, we may have an extended laning phase, except MURICA comes in for a gank on Lulu. Doesn't get any damage onto her. Seems like he might fall off and go for his wraiths here. Lulu followed him in to place that ward and he did not capitalize. Somebody pinging it out, either MURICA or Ziggs, saying, "Lulu is there, what are you doing?" Ziggs actually quite low on mana here, so Lulu is in a good position right now. Ryze puts a little bit of poke onto Aurelia while Lulu grabs a blue buff from Evelyn. Looks like Ziggs might go for that blue buff on his side as well. MURICA initiating it. Pretty even gold score across the board. CS numbers evening out for the most part. Well, not becoming any more divergent than they were. Still a 10 farm advantage for blue side in both the bottom and top lanes. We've got Caitlyn and Corki just, trying to hold their lanes, get their farm in, waiting for that opportune moment to potentially lock down a champion, get some extra poke. As we see right there, Corki gets some damage onto Caitlyn while Zyra ends up focusing the Braum. Shield comes out from Braum. Lulu pushing an advantage here and taking a lot of pressure onto the Ziggs. Bottom lane minions locked up very nicely. Both sides doing a great job of maintaining their farm. Not getting a whole lot of action in the bottom lane aside from Corki poking the Caitlyn. Caitlyn not taking advantage of her range advantage here. Aurelia onto the rise. We don't see either summoner in the top lane having a clear advantage. Aurelia can burst him down to about half health, but Rise responds fairly quickly, doing roughly the same amount of damage. His cooldowns being slightly shorter. Rise now behind by 20 farm, though. We see Aurelia doing a very good job in the top lane of maintaining those numbers. So MURICA sets up for a gank in the bottom lane. High Five does not have vision in that bush. We see Corki initiate a tiny bit too soon. MURICA can't get in there. Evelyn in the bot lane now. As MURICA falls off. Aurelia onto the rise. Not quite enough. He manages to disengage, gets under his turret. They're in onto Zyra. Zyra flashes out, but it's not enough. And that's going to be a kill onto Ziggs as well. But Evelyn has gone down in the exchange. That's 2 kills for 1 for High Five. Evelyn sacrificing herself for the support kill. Lulu doing a great job in the mid lane taking down Ziggs. MURICA spending some time in this bottom lane trying to get Corki the farm that he needs to stay even with Kate now that she has... Actually, she picked up an assist on that. Or did not even pick up an assist on that. So there is no extra gold for the Caitlyn. Corki is still in a good position, being up 1 kill and 20 CS. Braum heading to Dragon to drop that ward and go back. Wasn't quite sure if he was heading to the mid lane for some reason or not. Looks like a gank in the mid lane after all, even without Braum heading up there. Not quite enough to take Ziggs down as he uses his trap to get out. Saving his flash, was a great job of keeping those summoner spells. Evelyn getting spotted out here by this vision ward, but taking it down so it doesn't happen again. Purple side picking another vision ward from blue team, letting Evelyn know there is vision in that bush. She can't just run through there without getting seen. Caitlyn needs a little bit more poke from Corki. Both sides doing a great job here. Aurelia still up in fire on the rise, but not able to capitalize. We have an engage in the bottom lane. See if it's enough to take Braum down. That was under the turret, and the teleport comes in from Rise, but it's not quite enough to kill Maokai. Aurelia teleports down as well, and Evelyn's at the bottom lane now. We do have a 4v4, I believe. Make that 4 versus 5. It's all of high fives in this bottom lane. Maokai comes back, even though he only has 100 HP. If not less than 100 HP. Throwing those traps out, those boxes. Great plays coming out from both sides to not lose a single member in that fight. Taking that vision ward they knew was there down now. Evelyn is once again free to roam the jungle without being seen. Blue buff's going to go over to Lulu here. Now, at 15 minutes of the game, no turrets down on either side. We do see Ghost House having a 100... Sorry, the gold advantage has now been nullified. Sorry, back to 100. As I was saying, though, the gold score is roughly even though Ghost House is down by 2 kills. So they're doing a good job of maintaining the CS numbers they need. And then a dragon goes over to high five, putting them up by almost 1k gold. That is the objective control you need to get the gold for those items to have the advantage you need. Rise might go down under this turret. Won't quite cost Maokai his life as he gets out of that with 1 turret to spare. Still anybody's game at this point. Both teams playing very well, very defensive. Though Ghost House getting a little bit ham. That's 2 ganks under a turret. The first gank leading to a 5v5 fight. The second gank actually getting them a kill against that Rise. More action in the mid lane. Ziggs is down below half health. Darius misses the thorns on Caitlyn. Farm numbers not quite as divergent in the bottom lane as they could be. Corki only up by 20 CS. Vision ward coming out of Dragon from Lulu. She takes down another blue team ward. We've got Maokai in the bottom lane, but it looks like he's been seen. He just took that ward down. Some action in mid. Just getting my chair adjusted there. I apologize, I missed some action here. Corki putting pressure onto that bottom lane. Zyra doing a great job of keeping Braum out of the action, but Evelyn's coming in here. We'll see how this plays out as the minion wave pushes into that turret. Evelyn's going to come in onto Corki. He jumps out. Braum lands his slow. There's lots of pressure going onto Corki, and Ace in the Hole's going to come in. Lands after the heal. Zigzal's come down way too late. Evelyn getting down to 200 HP. Auto attack goes onto Braum instead of Evelyn. That's 4 members of Ghost House in the bottom lane. Lulu coming down to make it 4 members of High Five as well. No teleport from the top lane this time. was a well-timed heal that came out of that Corki to keep him alive. And this might be the first turret of the game. Going down to Zyra, as Lulu pushes the mid turret. Do not believe she will get enough damage onto it before the minion wave pushes out. Ziggs and Maokai now coming up to that mid lane, responding to Lulu. Aurelia coming in behind her. This could be the first death for Lulu, except her skill set just stops that all in from them completely. She gets out even with Ignite on her. Looks like she had to pop her heal to survive. And the turret in the mid lane goes down. 3 members of blue team were not enough to keep it up. Having chosen to focus Lulu instead of take the minions that were doing damage to the turret. 18 minutes into the game, it seems like we might be coming into the laning phase with the turret going down on both sides. As I said earlier, we did have a quite extended laning phase, both teams being content to try and outfarm their opponents, outpoke their opponents a little bit. Neither team getting very many kills. We are 2-3 at the nearly at the 20-minute mark. 25.6 to 25.7k gold. I don't think I've seen a matchup this even in any of our games. In 2 months of running weekly tournaments, this is the closest matchup I have seen. Corki now up by 30 farm on the Caitlyn. Aurelia up by 20 on her counterpart Ryze. Mid lane being nearly completely even. Junglers having fairly even scores, though Evelynn is up by 20, which is likely making some of that goal difference for them. Evelynn's farm number combined with that one dragon, the first blood, and, well, the first blood is the only extra kill on High Five's team, so that is the majority of the gold difference. They're now up by 500 gold. Might see Lulu go down here, but Ziggs is not going to have enough damage as Evelynn comes in, takes him out. Aurelia onto the Ryze, bursts him down to almost half HP. Fighting the bottom lane with Maokai here for a gank. Aurelia might go down to the Ryze. She flashes out. Ryze flashes after her and takes her down. Now 2-5 in kills for High Five. Looks like they might set up for that dragon, though it's going to be contested if they do. They're going to walk away from it for now. Content to push their lanes. 3 members of Ghost House into this bottom lane. Not going to be enough to catch out Caitlyn and Braum. Looks like Ziggs trying to solo that blue buff. Gets the blue buff for himself. Sorry, now he gets the blue buff for himself. I didn't see that golem up there when the camera switched over. And a red buff going over to Maokai. High Five looking to maintain objective control in this dragon. Braum getting caught out as he tries to fish out that ward. They do get both wards out of that dragon pit, meaning they're going to have complete vision control over this objective. Ghost House coming to take down this vision ward and initiate the dragon. They have 5 members here for it. Evelynn, Caitlyn, and Lulu in range to respond. Braum coming in quickly. With the Rise as well, we have 5v5 here. It's gonna be a team fight. Blue team grabs the dragon. First kill over to blue team as well. Aurelia down. Third kill for blue team. 3-2. Caitlyn flashes out, but Corki chases her down, deletes the Caitlyn. See if Braum can get out, if they can make this an ace. Does not look like Braum's going to have the jukes for this one. Though he will stop Ghost House from capitalizing on any objectives as they chase him down. Pops his shield to avoid the bouncing ball from Ziggs. As I say, he will not have the jukes. He may have the jukes. Tries to go in on Ziggs, which is going to cost him a little bit. Except he takes the kill. And Zyra doesn't follow to secure the Braum kill. Well played, Mr. Support. Make me a liar. Juke that, kill that. Get out alive with the gold. Well played, Braum. We've got all members of both teams, aside from the Ziggs who went down really late after that fight, back in action now. And Aurelia's on to Lulu. Maokai flashes in. Lulu, of course, transmogrifying him under the turret. Three members of Ghost House into this mid lane versus just a support. I was going to say could be a turret or a kill, aside from the fact that High Five has 4 members ready to respond. We may have another full-on team fight here. Braum pops his shield a little bit early, but it's going to be enough to take down the Ziggs. Caitlyn goes down as well. 2 kills to 1 for High Five. That is a first death onto that Corki. High Five looking to push this advantage here. Maokai goes in under the turret. We've got a complete disengage. Rise may... Yes, he does get out there. Aurelia doesn't have time to jump on him. Or did not see him in time to jump on him. "25 minutes of the game, there is only a 200 gold difference, which has been fairly standard throughout this game. 2 turrets and 10 kills in favor of High Five versus the 1, make that 2 turrets and 7 kills for Ghost House. The gold lead going over to Ghost House again. It's been flip-flopping back and forth, not really exceeding 1,000 gold lead for either team at any point in the game. We have 1 dragon going over to both teams here. The contest on the objective has been quite intense. For anyone just joining us, this is Not So Stuck Gaming's open bracket tournament. This is Dark Corp shoutcasting for you tonight. Just like to say, Happy MURICA Day. Alright, maybe I'm plugging that a little too hard. It's Independence Day, I know. But any excuse I have to say MURICA just makes me happy. A little bit of a lull in the action here, but we've got 3 members of both teams in the mid lane. Zyra gonna go back, stopping Corki from engaging there. bouncing ball just misses Lulu. Looks like that one may have connected. Ping coming out from purple side. Looks like they might want this Ziggs, but Aurelia is in the way. High Five looking to hold this turret up, but it's only got one auto attack left on it. Giving Ghost House a turret lead for the first time in the game. Up by a full 1k now with that turret. They will get spotted out trying for this dragon that comes up in 5 seconds. There's some crazy vision around this river, around this dragon. Got a teleport coming in from the Rise. Not going to be in time to stop the dragon, but we will have a team fight around it. Nobody going down yet. Then Ziggs and Aurelia, sorry, Zyra and Aurelia go down. Ziggs somehow still alive. Evelyn overextends a little bit, getting herself killed. Great counterplay by High Five. Not enough to stop the dragon, not enough to maintain the gold difference between them. Ghost House increasing their gold lead slightly during that fight. But it does set them up to take this mid turret. It will go down here, I believe. Which is enough to reclose the gold gap to under 1k. Great plays coming out from both sides tonight. This is Ghost House versus High Five. Lots of pressure in the bot lane makes a great way for Caitlyn to farm on. Being nearly 30 farm behind the Corki, this is a good opportunity for her to get caught up a little bit while Corki wanders the map. I was going to say he's probably off farming another lane right now, but he is running to mid lane. Caitlyn left on her own in that bottom lane, able to close the farm gap quite significantly. And then blue buff here is going to go over to Lulu. Evelyn doing a great job of carrying for her team, being 50 farm up on Maokai as well as 5 kills. The Maokai does have 6 assists to Evelyn's 1. She has taken a lot of the gold from her team. See how that translates in the late game. Some big items coming across for both teams here. We are 30 minutes into the game. Looks like Caitlyn gets caught out, has to pop her heal, walks into a Zigzag, but it's not enough to finish her off. Evelyn getting caught out again. Sorry, not again, but as well. Once again, not enough to finish her off either. Going to set Ghost House up to siege this mid lane turret. See if High Five has enough damage, enough tank to respond to it properly. Corki forced to jump out as Evelyn comes in. Lots of pressure onto that Ziggs. Evelyn forces him down. Ziggs deleted. Going to cost Evelyn her life. Kill onto Corki. That's 2 for 1 so far in favor of High Five. So Stranglethorns comes out to try and stop this initiate. Maokai getting left out behind. And Ace in the Hole comes on to finish him off. Making that 3 for 1 in favor of High Five, and that mid turret did not go down. We have now seen High Five not only close that gold gap, but come out ahead, if only by 300 gold. And that's an inhibitor turret for High Five. Might be an inhibitor as well, as only Aurelia is there to defend. That's going to be the first inhibitor of the game. Going over to Team High Five, in memory of Pinky. Not 100% sure on the validity of the Pinky story, hearing he died of a massive weed overdose, which seems slightly unrealistic. Might have a troll team there, at least as far as their RIP for their friend goes, though. If this is an actual friend of yours who has unfortunately passed away, I do apologize. You were making light of the situation earlier, and it kind of invalidates the story behind it. Corki taking a vision ward down around Baron, trying to get vision control on this map. Ghost House actually doing a great job of maintaining vision control. If you look at the map, there are roughly 6 or 7 wards out from Ghost House, with only the one vision ward that I'm seeing from High Five. Of course, as I say that, High Five starts dropping some more wards, popping their sweepers, and Aurelia walks right into Lulu, who has Braum with her for support. Caitlyn comes in a little bit late. There's no turret there, but the rest of her team comes up to save her. With 20 seconds till Dragon comes up and almost no vision on that part of the map, we'll see if anybody sets up for it. Ryze taking this bottom turret. Looks like High Five might be running down for that Dragon now that Ryze has popped the turret in the bottom lane. They know it's coming up. They're going to be set and have it down before Ghost House has a chance to respond. Well played, well timed by High Five. That was impressive Dragon timing. Especially not getting the last one, though they were in vision of it. High Five with a nearly 3k gold lead here. Game has flip-flopped back and forth from Ghost House to High Five, to Ghost House to High Five, to Ghost House, to High Five, back to Ghost House and back to High Five, having that advantage. Yes, I know I took that 1 if not 3 too far, but this game has been so close. Great plays by both teams. In round 1, no less. Both teams really wanting to make it through. This is Not So Stock Gaming's Open Bracket Tournament. This is July 4th. Happy Independence Day. Happy MURICA Day. This is not... This is Dark Corp shoutcasting for Not So Stock Gaming tonight. Anybody just joining us, welcome. To everybody who's been here the whole time, I apologize if I'm boring you. Doing my best here. Looks like High Five might be setting up for Baron there, or might just be trying to bait out Ghost House. We might have a fight around this objective here. Neither team quite willing to engage. A little bit of poke coming out. That blue buff goes over to Ryze this time. Lulu either not needing it or just not being in position to take it. Of course, going on to Ryze is not a bad thing, as he is fairly mana dependent, and the cooldown reduction will help him out as well. Looks like neither team here willing to hard engage, willing to go for the objectives that are on the map. Baron being a major objective, starting it with the entirety of their opposing team still alive and in position to defend is not always the smartest situation unless you know that they will be out of position long enough for you to secure that objective and not take your team down as you finish it. Sweeper from MURICA for a ward. Aurelian Rise duking it out in the bottom lane. A little bit of a switch from their top lane starts. High Five potentially setting up for a Baron here, or just clearing out the vision. Not 100% sure how long that inhibitor's been back up for Ghost House. I did notice it a little while ago and forgot to comment. Bit of a fight in this mid lane here as Corki jumps out and Ziggs throws as much poke as he can. We do have 4 members from both teams here. If there is a hard engage, it could be another brutal team fight. We've seen team fights go both ways a couple of times, so generally in favor of High Five, especially if Lulu is there. And we've seen Evelyn is completely unafraid to go full ham if the situation calls for it. Though it has worked out for her being 7-4. It's more deaths than anybody on her team, but also more kills. This means she is making some plays for this team and sacrificing herself, not simply getting herself killed. Having been behind in kills since First Blood, Ghost House is doing a great job of staying relevant this game. Down by only 3k at the 40-minute mark here. We'll see if High Five can siege this inhibitor down a second time, or if they're going to get forced off of their engage. Rise comes in. Corki jumps out, and it's enough to keep him alive until Evelyn comes through. But Evelyn's not going to be able to finish him off. MURICA gets awfully low and jumps out. Sorry, make that Aurelia, not MURICA. And it's going to be enough for this inhibitor. Possibly cost Braum his life, but Braum seems to have gotten out. No kills during that fight, but an inhibitor over 2 High Five. Red buff on that Caitlyn now. Let's see if she can put it to good use. High Five clearing the vision out around Baron. They might be looking to set it up. But instead we have a team fight in the jungle. Lulu gets deleted. Corki goes down as well, followed by a Braum kill. 2 for 1 in favor of Ghost House. Without Lulu, they have a chance to finish this. High Five disengages with only those 2 kills going over to Ghost House. Well played by High Five, having lost to Lulu. They were not in a great position to continue that team fight. They put on a solid disengage. Evelyn getting awfully close here. Takes down the big Wraith, but doesn't get close enough to Ziggs to take him out. Or gets spotted out, apparently. We've got 2 super minions coming in this mid lane. Might be enough for High Five to end it. As I say that, of course, it is Ghost House in their base, defending and not High Five, pushing the objective. They take Dragon, though. Blue buff onto Evelyn there. Sorry, I apologize. Evelyn didn't finish the blue buff. She leaves it up for Rise, who takes it quite happily, getting those cooldowns and the mana regen. Caitlyn, of course, in this bottom lane still, farming it out, trying to get caught up to the Ziggs, having done a great job doing so, actually. She's only 10 farm behind. And when I say the Ziggs, I mean the Corki. Braum clearing out vision around the Baron pit. We got a ping to Baron from the purple team. We'll see if they're going to actually set up for it this time. Try and take that Baron, finish the game. Ghost House doing a great job of defending here, not letting High Five push the advantage that they've set up for themselves repeatedly. High Five sets up around Baron but doesn't start it. Ghost House comes in to contest it. We're going to have another team fight here as Evelyn goes completely ham. Is forced to disengage as her team doesn't get there in time. Goes back in. Caitlyn taking a lot of pressure. That was a poor engage for High Five there, costing them the advantage they had around Baron. Might let Ghost House actually set up and take this, as 2 members, if not 3 members of High Five are going to be forced to go back. Ghost House initiates the Baron. High Five stops their backs, and Rise is actually teleporting back out to the ward here. The Ghost House is forced off the Baron. We have Aurelia in onto Caitlyn, but forced out. Caitlyn takes down Aurelia. Maokai goes down. Ziggs down. It's a double kill for the Rise. And High Five starts Baron. They should be able to get this with both Corki and Zyra being sub 500 HP. Lulu comes down and finishes off Zyra. Baron goes down. Lulu comes in towards the Corki, who jumps out. He's going to put a lot of damage onto the Zulu, but she takes him out for a double kill. Looks like High Five is actually going to be able to finish this game, pushing into the base with all 5 members of Ghost House down for at least 30 seconds. Take that inhibitor down. Go in for those 2 Nexus turrets. 45 minutes in. 20 seconds to Maokai. Ghost House is going to be defeated here. Congratulations, High Five, on a round 1 victory. Alright, that was a great game, guys. We have the win from High Five. We're going to have High Five versus Team Pow Pow coming up soon. I was going to make sure I have a member from High Five on my friends list. Let's grab Skull Kid. I do believe that was the Evelyn from that last game. My mistake, that was the Rise. Let's see if I've got a slot on my friends list to add them here. May have to delete somebody. Gonna have to delete somebody. Show offline, yes. Alright, here we go. Just give us 1 moment, we'll get the next game started up. See if 4 is enough to get me another friend onto my friends list. Looks like it's gonna work that time. Send that invite to Skull Kid. We're going to be following Team Pow Pow versus High Five here. I'm going to add a member of Team Pow Pow as well since they were to form that matchup. See if I can get a hold of everybody. Get myself into that spectator slot. Quick look over at Twitch chat. Hello, guys. Got 2 round 1 games still going. That's quite impressive having just watched a nearly 50-minute game. Looks like the invite is being sent out. Just going to take a moment, guys. We'll get into round 2 momentarily. We'll have Team Pow Pow versus Team High Five. The winner of this match making it into the semifinals of tonight's open bracket tournament for Not So Stock Gaming. And there's my invite into the spectator slot. So we're just waiting for one more member of Team High Five to join the lobby here. And we will be underway for round 2 of Not So Stock Gaming's open bracket tournament. This is July 4th, America or Independence Day, however you want to put it. Let's get a giant resounding MURICA from everybody here. Alright, we've got both teams into the lobby here. Just one moment, looks like we had somebody say BRB. Just taking a quick look there to make sure that the matches have not been reported and not updated there. Make sure everybody can get into the round 2 games as they finish up. Take a look, Team Envy here. Just gonna check a summoner name, see if they're playing their matchup while we wait for our round 2 game between Pow Pow and High Five to get underway. Over to LOL Nexus to check on that. Don't need to throw his name in there 3 times, just once will do. Does not seem like they are in a game, so hopefully that match report comes through shortly and the bracket will get updated. We've got some calls for a McDonald's sponsorship. Who in the Twitch chat wants some Big Macs for winning tournaments? A little bit of activity in the chat. We're just waiting for both teams to be ready for their round 2 game to start up here. And we'll be back underway shortly. If there's a member of Team Envy, Final Solution, the Dung Clan, or MURICA Gaming, listening to Twitch chat right now, don't forget to report your games to us so that we can advance you in the bracket. Alright, all this trolling, but somehow there's not 10 members ready to go. Looks like we have a go command. We might be getting into this game here. And we're into Champion Select. Once again, guys, this is Team Pow Pow versus High Five, Non-So-Stock Gaming's Open Bracket Tournament for July 4th. Happy MURICA Day. This is Dark Corp shoutcasting for Non-So-Stock Gaming tonight. We have a Jax ban right off the bat, followed by a Braum from Purple Team. We saw Purple playing Braum last match. Kind of surprising to see them ban him out. We have a bracket update. I'm just going to throw that into Twitch chat. Get back to the game. Alright, so we've got Jax and Yasuo being banned out by the blue side. Braum and Kassadin being banned out by the purple side. I'm not crazy here, just thinking that purple side is High Five, which they are. They did play that Braum last game. They did ban out the Kassadin last game. We're seeing the Jax and Yasuo banned against them a second time. I would say those are fairly standard bans, but we're seeing a second team making identical bans, which makes me wonder if they are targeted against Team High Five. Alright guys, getting reports that somebody started their round 2 matchup before reporting the victory, before the bracket was updated. You guys cannot do that. Like, I'm surprised their opponents would actually start the game before the winner was showing on the bracket. We're not going to disqualify anybody because both teams are at fault here for that game starting. But this will be the one and only warning to both of those teams. I don't know, in conjunction with an admin actually contacting them to let them know that they can't do it again. But this is the warning for everybody else. Please wait for the bracket updates. Let us know you've finished your games. We'll get those updated fairly quickly normally. Got Evelyn coming out for blue team this time. And another Lulu on high five. You're going to see a Thresh support this time since they banned out the Braum. I didn't notice the Elise ban coming out from high five there. Suppose I should have paid more attention to the last ban from both teams, though we did comment on the Lee Sin coming out from Team Pow Pow. Is that an Urgot? It is. These icon reworks messing with me. Nobody knows what they're locking in yet, aside from them. Alright, it looks like we all know it might be Tristana Morgana now. Tristana, an interesting choice for ADC, a very late game champion. They say if you come out of laning phase 20 farm behind your opponent on Tristana, that you have actually technically won your lane, which is a hard pill to swallow, but an interesting statement to the strength of Tristana's late game. Can you see her versus Quinn potentially? Would love to see a Quinn in the game. We see the Quinn getting swapped out for a Vel'Koz, but Quinn still showing on a different summoner now. The champion switches during select. People like to keep us guessing. Alright, while we wait for everyone to finalize these picks, turns out to be Lucian and Rengar. Now while we wait for everybody else to finalize these picks, if you're just joining us, or if you've been with us the whole time, I'll remind you, this is Not So Stock Gaming's Open Bracket Tournament for July 4th. It is America Day, Independence Day. Alright, we've got Ryze and Jace being picked out as those last summoners for Team Pow Pow. Which means, from the appearance of how things are right now, we're going to see a Ryze top lane with Jace in the mid lane. Evelyn jungle, meaning a Morgana Tristana bottom lane. Alright, we have 50 seconds here until champions must have their runes and masteries finalized, and then 3 minutes after that for spectator delay. Caliware has forfeit their round 2 match, meaning the Dung clan advance to the semifinals. They're going to have some time to wait for the other round 2 match to finish up, but I'm sure they won't complain too much. And we're going to be in a spectator delay momentarily here. So let's take a look at these teams. As we were saying, the Morgana Tristana bottom lane. Something I actually like to see. Morgana is a great support, one of my favorite champions to play. With her Dark Bindings locking down their opponents, Thresh and or Lucian. Preferably Lucian, obviously, because you don't want to focus the support. Tristana will have the chance to jump in, do some damage, or potentially be there already, do some damage, and jump out before Thresh and Lucian have the time to respond, making the lockdown and poke comp there for them fairly strong. Of course, Lucian Thresh lane for the other team is also a really strong matchup in the bottom lane, with Thresh's Death Sentence and his Flay being great for the CC. Lucian able to capitalize on any kind of lockdowns coming out of Thresh as well, with his dash, double shot, and the culling. Looks like we're going to have mid Lulu this time, again with that heal. This will be the second time we're watching Lulu take the mid lane. It's going to be against Jace this time, as opposed to a Ziggs. Not quite sure how that matchup will play out. We will find out. And we're going to have Rumble and Ryze in the top lane. Rumble, a hard champion to counter, but also a difficult champion to master. Versus the Ryze here, who did really well last game against the Aurelia. Actually, I do believe the Ryze... Yes, I have misspoken there. Ryze is on the new team here, who did not actually play against the Aurelia. The Aurelia was on Ghost House, whereas Ryze was actually played by High Five in the round 1 matchup. So we have them switching out their top lane for a Rumble with Ryze being taken already. And the jungler matchup, Evelynn and Rengar. Rengar, apparently a very broken champion, though I find him really hard to start. Evelynn, we've seen, played successfully throughout multiple matches by multiple teams. A great jungler all around. 2 assassin junglers, 2 sustainy mids, sustainy tops, and the CC poke comp bottom lanes. I am kind of excited to watch this match play out. Should be a learning experience for me, at least. See how Team Pow Pow fares against High Five, having just won their first 1 match, with Team Pow Pow not actually playing a match yet, having that round 1 bye. Alright, spectator delay finally ticks down, and we're going to be into the load screen here. As we hit load screen, we're seeing 3 diamond trims for Team Pow Pow with a platinum trim and the unranked summoner, or previously unranked summoner. While we were in the team select phase, I didn't actually check on everybody's current rankings, though I should have, just to see where we're at for this matchup, see who's going to be playing at an advantage, who won't be. Potentially anyways, though, since rank is not a clear measurement of skill. It's more of a measurement of progression through the leagues. Of course, going into game, both teams' junglers are the only team members without skins. We're seeing a Triumphant Rise skin on this Beasted. Congratulations on having won a previous tournament somewhere. I'm not sure if Team Pow Pow has competed with us before, if Beasted is a winning member from Not So Stock or another tournament. Either way, congratulations to your previous victory. Let's see how they fare this game. We're into the game, both teams taking out the base. A little bit slow as they buy their items. Doesn't look like Team High Five is quite as coordinated coming out this time. They're potentially not going to set up for that early game invade which got them first blood on the Ziggs the last matchup.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
I may have misspoke. They may go for this first blood in that bush. Jace ping that he sees them. Throws his poke. It's not going to be enough for them to engage or scare him off, really. It will scare them off, though.
30 seconds until minions.
Knowing they've been seen. They've lost their chance at first blood. Rumble goes back and starts running out of the top lane. Both teams continue to set up for their first buff of the game. This is round 2 of Not So Stock Gaming's Open Bracket Tournament. This is Team Pow Pow versus Team High Five, and this is Dark Corp shoutcasting for you tonight. Successful leashes, as expected, and the buffs both go down. We see a third buff go down there, though, as Rise and Jace take a red. Interesting tactic here. We'll see how that plays out for them. Rise being forced to go back really early. Rumble getting some free farm in that top lane. Of course, Rise burns his teleport after getting the red buff from the opposing side's jungle. I did not actually notice that it was blue team taking purple side's red. An interesting and strong tactic coming out from Team Pow Pow to start this game. Evelyn getting her red buff as well, nice and early, going straight for it, knowing that her team stole Rengar, so he's likely going to try and come for hers. Except after noticing it's gone, he goes straight up to that golem. Looks like we've had some action in the bottom lane as well, as Lucian's forced to pop his health pot this early. Evelyn in the top lane onto the Rumble. Rise getting some damage in there. Evelyn might be able to finish it. Rise comes in and first blood goes over to Evelyn. Death sentence onto a minion. Morgana throws Dark Binding and it lands onto Thresh. Lulu putting pressure onto Jace, of course. Of course, of course. Level 2s come out all across the board. Level 3s. Lucian actually a full level behind the Tristana here as he hits 3 now. Death Sentence comes out but it misses. Dark Binding lands onto the Thresh. Both champions in the mid lane taking a decent amount of punishment. Lucian and Tristana exchanging some poke. Lucian coming out behind in these exchanges though. The battle of the supports in this bottom lane. We'll see who throws what first and if it's going to land. Morgana looks like she popped a health pot there. Throws the cesspool. Evelynn coming up for a second gank in the top lane. Rumble being forced to disengage as hard as he can, popping a health pot. Only goes down to half health this time though. Lucian sitting sub 200 HP, trying to stick it out in his lane. One well-placed Dark Binding could be the end of him, but Death Sentence goes in onto Tristana. Dark Binding comes out and lands onto Thresh. Lucian lives for a few moments longer. Lots of pressure in this bottom lane against Team High 5. Tristana just ignoring that turret, puts a pop onto Thresh and then jumps out of turret range. Death Sentence misses her. The Flay doesn't though, it's a slow onto Tristana. Not enough to make her take a turret hit. Morgana being forced to run all the way around as she gets out the backside of the turret there. Team Pow Pow throwing massive pressure in this bottom lane. Looks like Rumble might be pressured up top as well. We get the scoreboard reorganized for everybody here. Looks like farm numbers across the board are fairly even, with the exception of that bottom lane where Tristana is already up by 20 farm over this Lucian. We have a 1k gold advantage in favor of Team Pow Pow at the 7-minute mark. Dark Binding lands on Thresh, but Lucian jumps in onto Tristana. The Lantern comes out and Lucian just jumps around with it. Rumble doing what Rumble does in the top lane, coming back from those 2 early ganks from Evelynn, having evened out the farm score. Thresh throws and misses again. The Lantern comes out, see if Lucian takes it. Rumble coming back in onto Rise, eats the prison. We got Tristana putting some pressure onto this bot lane turret already. Other lanes seem much more evenly matched up. Thresh taking a huge punishment trying to take that Morgana down. We've got Rumble engaging in the mid lane. Jace is going to go down to Lulu. Rumble stays alive. Well played by High 5 there to even out the kill scores. Still down by 1k gold though. Tristana doing a great job of dominating this bot lane, except she eats Death Sentence and the Flay. Lucian comes in with the culling. Morgana ult's going to be enough to keep Tristana alive. Well played by Morgana. This support carrying the bottom lane. The Death Sentence misses from Thresh, but she black shields as well, which means that even if it had landed, it wouldn't have made a huge difference on her. Evelynn still in the bottom lane, but Rengar comes in with that jump. Lucian's culling comes out this time. Morgana blocks it, keeping Tristana alive, and then the Lucian goes down. Ryze in the bottom lane as well. Did not see that teleport come through, if he teleported. Looks like he did. Thresh might get out here. They fall off just before the kill as Lulu does come in. Ryze running straight to Dragon, initiates it, but his team's not going to stay there for it. Ryze coming in onto Lulu. Rumble pushing in onto Jace in the top lane. Jace turns around trying to make it a real exchange. Taking a lot of pressure though. Rumble in behind the turret, not going to be enough to take him down. Ryze in behind this Rumble now, making that 2v1 in the top lane if Jace can get back in time. Team Pow Pow not quite able to capitalize on the Rumble's positioning, as Lulu does come in to the top lane, looking to keep that Rumble alive, defend. Rengar there as well. They're just waiting for Ryze to get forced back onto his turret, take a free kill and possibly that turret in the top lane. See if it plays out like that. Rengar goes in, eats the Rune Prison. Ryze goes down. Evelynn's initiated the dragon and Tristana comes in to help her out. This will be the first dragon of the game. Morgana comes in to make sure it's secured. There's no response from purple team. Red buff going over to Lucian, to Evelynn there. And Tristana in this bottom lane, punishing the turret. Might be enough to take it down with his minion wave. First third of the game going over to Team Pow Pow. Taking a look at this top lane, Rumble is slightly above Ryze's farm numbers with the same KDA. Having eaten 2 early ganks, one of which was quite successful, Rumble's done a great job coming back against this Ryze. Evelynn in the top lane onto Rumble. Rumble's ult comes out, but it's not going to be enough. That is the second kill onto Rumble. Score now 3-2, +1 turret, and a dragon in favor of Team Pow Pow. Lucian slowly closing the farm gap between Tristana and himself, though. As we were saying pre-game, they say if Tristana comes out 20 farm behind her opponent, she has won the lane. This is the second game in not-so-stock gaming tournaments where we have seen a Tristana simply dominate her lane the entire time, come out at least 20 farm ahead of her opponent, which is, according to some, super winning. It's an early culling from Lucian, not sure quite what happened there. And Rise seeing this bush, looking to capitalize on Rumble. Evelyn comes up, he's already at half health from just the Rise damage. He tries to get out, and that's going to be a third kill onto the Rumble. Evelyn now in the mid lane looking to capitalize on this turret. Not even needed for it to go down. Got a great engage there as Morgana lands her Dark Binding. Not going to be enough to take Rengar out, unfortunately for them. Rise in the top lane pushing his turret. Dark Binding just misses Lulu there. Not sure if that was an intentional juke or just a little bit of luck. Rumble taking down a blue team ward. Gonna get caught out here though. He goes in onto Morgana, but Evelyn is there as well as Tristana. Threshing Lulu there as well for him though. He doesn't go down. Rengar comes in. It's gonna be a kill onto Tristana.
Purple team's turret has been destroyed.
But a turret for the Rise in the top lane. As 5 members of Team High 5 are in the mid lane now, looking to push this mid turret potentially, or fall off because they're all really low. Rumble's B goes through just in time. Sorry, his recall goes through just in time as Morgana throws the snare, but it's not able to connect because he's no longer there. Well played, Jace. We just saw Rengar get deleted. Morgana and Jace in this mid lane versus Lulu, but Thresh is there, eats a Dark Binding. Lulu doing a great job in the mid lane, sitting at 201 and only, well, not only, but 50 farm behind her laning opponent who is 110. She is in the best position on her team. Things are not looking good for High 5. We'll see if they can turn it around. We are at the 19-minute mark now. They're down by 6k gold. Dark Binding misses the Thresh there to take down a ward. And High 5's gonna... No, they're not going to initiate this dragon, because it is heavily contested. They will initiate the dragon. All 5 of them are going in on that. while Team Pow Pow chooses to capitalize and go for mid-turret. See if they can actually get there in time. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to, but Rise is all over this top turret with minions, and his team is going to fall towards the top lane, making sure they get at least one turret for that dragon.
Purple team's turret has been destroyed.
As they were unable to take that mid turret, they did all respond to Rise pushing the top lane. Get one turret anyways. We're gonna have a team fight here. Tristana forced to jump out. Rumble gets deleted. Death Sentence lands onto Limey. Morgana gets deleted. 2 for 1 for Team Pow Pow as Rengar goes down. Jace comes in, heavy. Lulu gets deleted as well though. Making this 3 for 1 in favor of Pow Pow. 4 for 1. This is going to be an ace. A quadra kill for Rise.
Ace.
No penta, no penta. Well played though, Team Pow Pow. Now up 10 kills to 4, 4 turrets to 0. And a solid 8k gold lead. Team High Five is going to have to put on some moves to come back from this one. Jace going for the blue buff. Secures his blue buff. There's been great map awareness from Team Pow Pow. Knowing that High Five was on the dragon, they could have responded, but they chose to push mid. Not being able to take mid, they took top instead, which led to a team fight, which got them an ace. Morgana eats a death sentence, but it's not going to matter. Lucian actually comes in though. Thresh goes down. Rengar there as well. Morgana might go down here. Rengar not able to finish off the Morgana before the entirety of Team Pow Pow responds to that, deleting Rengar as well. Evelyn getting low, but Rumble goes down for a double kill to Jace. They're going to chase down the Lulu. Seems like she might get out of this with that turret in the way. Team Pow Pow going to put some pressure onto the turret. Lots of pressure onto Lulu, and that's a surrender coming through. Congratulations, Team Pow Pow, on making your way to the semifinals of our July 4th open bracket tournament from Not So Stock Gaming. It's a great game there. Well played by Team Pow Pow. They definitely earned that victory. I did add a couple members from Team Pow Pow onto my friends list here a little bit earlier, so I'm just gonna double check their roster, and we will get the game back underway. The games, as we progress into Not So Stock Gaming's semifinals of our open bracket tournament. Looks like Team MV and Team Explicit are still playing their games. We're just going to have to wait for Explicit and Team MV to finish up their game While we wait, I'm just going to double check their team rosters, see if I have anybody from those teams on my friends list currently. I believe we looked this guy up, but I did not add him to my friends list. Indeed. Do not really recognize any of those names. Alright, we are potentially not going to be able to watch this other quarterfinal game. I apologize, we're going to have some downtime here while we wait for that quarterfinal to finish up. They did have quite a long matchup in round one. See if that is the summoner name there that I'm looking for. We can at least check on their LOL Nexus status. Alright, his name is Camel God. They're 23 minutes into their game, which means at any point it could finish up. Looks like it is 4 diamonds and a platinum versus 3 diamonds, a platinum and a silver. Likely a fairly even matchup. Hey, look at that. We might actually be able to get in the game through LOL Nexus. First time I've actually made that work. Alrighty, here we go. This is a second quarterfinal matchup of our open tournament. This is going to be Team Explicit versus... double check that name for everybody before I give you the wrong name. Team Envy versus Team Explicit. Team Explicit being on blue side versus Envy's purple. Move myself down to spectate before people get confused in this matchup here. Alright, and when this game concludes, we will be into the semifinals of Not So Stock Gaming's Open Bracket Tournament for July 4th. Happy holidays, everybody. Hopefully, we're done in time for our American counterparts to catch the fireworks. Though we're going to have fireworks here all night long as the matches heat up. Oh, 21-5 for Explicit versus Team Envy. Up by 12k at the 22-minute mark. Looks like Syndra and Thresh had some problems during this game, while Zac has simply been dominating. Luxalt comes in to delete Syndra, making her 0-8. Zac comes in under that turret, doesn't even care, goes full ham until he backs off. His team is there, but they lack the minions that they're looking for to actually siege that turret. The Ashe all lands on Syndra. Zac goes in and she gets deleted again. Just picking on Syndra. The culling comes out, but it's not going to be nearly enough to deter Team Explicit from forcing this bottom turret. Could be the first inhibitor turret of the game. It is the first inhibitor turret of the game. We're going to see the second inhibitor here as well. Sorry, the first inhibitor here. Well played, well played. Syndra booking it out, gets caught, gets deleted. The jar ball is going to get him killed. When you trap yourself, Renekton goes in, it's going to get deleted as well. Lux all over this Lucian. Zac looks like he wants to jump in, but doesn't do it. Starts tanking that Nexus turret, though, down to half health. Forced to back off the turret, he goes down to a quarter health. They do get the the first Nexus turret of the game, though. Team Explicit setting up for this dragon, having just wiped out the opposition. Taking the first Nexus turret, first inhibitor and first Nexus turret of the games, all in one fell swoop. Team MV now down by 19k gold, doing their best to come back here. Explicit pinging, they want that top Nexus turret so that they can finish off the inhibitor here. Sorry, the top inhibitor turret so they can finish off the Nexus. As I say it backwards. Rise looking to push that minion wave in so they can actually get to that Nexus turret. Inhibitor turret. J4 eats the strangleholds, but Lucian's ult comes in onto Lux. Zac all over the Lucian. Syndra comes in. Syndra eats the poke from Ashe. Zac. Oh, the ult from both Ashe and Lux. Not quite enough to kill Syndra, but she goes down anyways in the end. Lucian goes down. J4 goes down. Just short of an ace because it seems like Thresh might be AFKing in the base. That's going to be a win for Team Explicit, which means we'll have our semifinals game starting momentarily between Team Pow Pow and Team Explicit. Alright, so Explicit has made it to the semifinals here. catching the end of that last matchup after Team Envy apparently took a lot of pressure in the mid and bottom lanes. Seems like one of their team members may have rage quit, which we do frown upon, but technically is not against the rules. Alright, we've got a few members from both teams in the chat. Just waiting for one more here now. We are now into the semifinals of tonight's tournament. Which means all teams have qualified for a minimum of 800 RP for their performances tonight. Teams now competing for that first place slot. Well, for a chance at that first place slot, which will get them 3200 RP as well as a Triumphant Rise skin per team member. Second place team being awarded, I do believe, 2400, followed by 16 and 800 by the third and fourth teams respectively. And now that we have all 10 members into the game, we should be getting underway shortly. Looks like our other semi-final matchup there is going to be the Dung Clan versus Mimic Fission. Congratulations to those teams as well. Congratulations to all of our semi-finalists tonight. Thank you for participating on this holiday weekend. Thank you to all of our viewers as well for coming out, checking out what's going on, taking a moment to cheer on these teams. We're into Champion Select. We have another Jax ban from a blue team. Morgana ban coming out of, I do believe that's Explicit. So Team Pow Pow is on the blue side, with Explicit on the purple side. We've seen Limey perform fairly well on that Morgana, so that is more than likely a targeted ban, even though she is a semi-standard ban. We have Braum getting taken out of the matchup as well. Followed by a Kassadin ban, and then a Zyra rounding off the bans from blue team. Let's see what this sixth champion taken out of the game is going to be. A Yasuo ban. We haven't gotten to see a Yasuo or a Jax yet, though we have seen both Braum and Morgana, as well as Zyra in games. Kassadin hasn't managed to come out yet either. Going to be a Nami locked in for Limey on the Team Pow Pow side, followed by a Thresh coming out of Explicit. And the Zac pick. We saw Zac do really well in the quarterfinals game versus Team Envy there. See if he can do it a second time versus Team Pow Pow. Trying to get my window positioned so that we can actually see that bracket behind it, but it's not going to work. Evelyn and Lucian showing here, potentially getting locked in for Team Pow Pow. Five seconds remaining and no flip-flopping. I would assume those are getting locked in. Alright, we're going to see Evelyn and Lucian in the game. Tristana showing for Team Explicit. Forget what their ADC was in the last game we just saw from them. We only caught the end of it. Suppose somebody in Twitch chat can let us know. I won't see it directly, but everybody else will. Lux getting locked in again. Lux did really well last game, having dominated her mid lane opposition to the point of 0-8 by the time we joined them in 20 minutes. Ziva possibly going for a Sarath pick for Team Pow Pow. I say possibly, and he switches it to Galio. Trolling that champion selection. See what he locks in the end here. Solero choosing not to show anything, while Ziva just flip-flops back and forth between different champions. We are looking for a mid and top lane lock-in here. And it looks like we'll have it with Anivia and Renekton. Just the Camel God left for champion selection now, and we'll be into that 1 minute period where they can select their runes and masteries, and then 3 minutes of spectator delay, and we'll be into our semifinals matchup. So we're going to have a Ryze selected for that top lane. Lots of Ryzes coming out tonight. Clearing champion selection here with Ryze getting locked in for Camel God. I have to say that things look good for Team Explicit, though it's definitely anybody's game, the team comps being not weak or strong particularly, but looking at the damage to tank ratio, Explicit does have the Thresh, Zax, and Ryze, all capable of taking a fair amount of damage, with the Tristana, Lux, and Ryze, as well as Zac, all being able to dish out a fair amount of damage. Whereas Team Pow Pow really only has that Renekton to tank damage for them, though Evelyn, I suspect, will build tanky as well. She can offset a little bit of the damage that Team Explicit will put out. But without the second dedicated tank or the support tank, it's going to be difficult for them to survive late game once we get past that 30-40 minute mark. Somehow still 2.5 minutes of spectator delay remaining here. Just have my admin offering me the batch file for the other semifinals matchup in case this one finishes up first so we can catch the end of that. But with my luck it would somehow not work properly. So if this match finishes up, we'll just do what we did last time. One and a half minutes of spectator delay remaining. We've got Thresh Tristana in the bottom lane for Team Explicit versus a Lucian Nami pairing. We'll see exactly how that pairs up. As we've said in the past, Tristana is very much a late game champion, though we have watched her dominate the entire time throughout the laning phase and into late game for multiple teams in the past. We'll see if she can come out ahead or, behind by less than 20 farm to be able to say she won her lane, at least according to some people. The Thresh Tristana is a good pairing, as Thresh will lock things down. Tristana can get onto them for a fair amount of damage, being able to either jump in or do that damage having already been in there and jump out as the other team decides to engage. Lucian, of course, a fairly slippery champion himself with his dash and the culling, being able to just dash in and drop a whole lot of damage. Nami being able to lock champions down fairly well as well with the bubbles and her ult. Though we won't see any ult play for the first 5 minutes, obviously. Not a huge difference in junglers. Evelyn being more slippery than Zac, but Zac having a fair amount of mobility, being able to just jump over that wall in the bottom lane. His ganks are always fairly strong. It's rough to get away from Zac when he jumps right onto you. And then Evelyn is in the same position, being able to come up behind you before being seen. Get fairly close before you even have a chance to respond unless you have great vision. Into the load screens here. Just the Anivia without a trim. Either a newer account or a previous bronze. Though I doubt that playing on an all-diamond team, well, mostly diamond team, that they were bronze last season. Once again, just the junglers lacking skins on both teams. Gonna see a Pirate Rise come out for Camel God. I do believe last game he was playing the Triumphant Rise. Actually, that was the matchup between Pow Pow and High Five, where a member of Team Pow Pow had a Triumphant Rise skin, so my mistake. Explicit maybe vying for that finals position in order to get this Triumphant Rise skin so he doesn't have to play as a pirate any longer. Though, I have to say, there ain't nothing wrong with being a pirate. Alright, pirate humor averted. Kind of ironic though with the Deep Terror Thresh and a Pirate Rise skin. Seems like they're going for a theme until you look at the Rocket Girl Tristana and the Steel Legion Lux. Need some nautical skins for those two. everybody finally hits 100% here, we're going to get onto the Summoner's Rift momentarily. Renekton brought his whistle and Rise brought his sword to that top lane. We've got a full nautical theme going on here. Well, water-based theme. I guess it's not the most nautical when you're at a pool. Could be a beach. He's dressed up like a lifeguard. Feels like a beach to me. Alright, we got the scoreboard organized here. Purple side setting up for something funny. Looks like they're going to run the long way down to that tri-bush. This is Team Explicit. Got Team Pow Pow on blue side versus Team Explicit on the purple side for the semifinals of tonight's Open Bracket tournament from Not So Stock Gaming. Once again, I am Dark Corpse. I'm showcasting for you tonight. Thank you for joining us on this July 4th MURICA holiday.
Minions have spawned.
Looks like there's not going to be any pre-buff action this time. Both teams content to set up safe. Renekton and Rise both doing a fairly decent job of keeping the opposite buff to their junglers. I don't know what you call that. Protected. Looks like Evelyn might have actually managed to clear that buff out before Zac, even though it seemed like Zac got the larger minion in there before Evelyn did. Some action in the bot lane already as Thresh lands a Flay. Both sides having vision on the opposite bush to their lane. Sorry, to their side of the lane. Nobody's safe from the vision in the bottom lane. Lux throwing some damage onto Anivia. And Renekton taking some massive pressure from Rise. Level 2's come out across the board. Hard engage onto Thresh. Death Sentence comes out but misses. Zac comes in onto Anivia. She is slowed. Goes into egg form. Death Sentence lands onto Lucian. But the bubbles come in on Tristana. Ignite onto Lucian. Tristana jumps in. Not going to be able to finish him off. Lucian, having popped a health pot, is slowly regenning here. Able to stay in the lane a little bit longer. Looks like the ADCs have burnt all their pots. Well, technically they only get one, I guess, with that Doran's Blade. While the supports are both holding onto one potion apiece. Thresh having a mana pot, while Nami has the biscuit. Got Anivia showing a little bit of festive spirit with that red, white, and blue skin. MURICA Nivea. Renekton jumps onto the rise, but doesn't actually do much damage there with his... What is that called? I don't even know. Nivea lands the stun onto Lux, but doesn't get a lot of pressure onto her that way either. This early stage, no champions are doing a whole lot of damage. Seems like bottom lane is the only lane taking very much pressure from their opposition. Where Thresh and Tristana here are sitting just below and just above half health respectively. Zac ready to come in for this gank. Jumps in onto the Lucian. Not going to be enough. His first blood goes over to Lucian. Thresh gets deleted. And Evelyn in behind this turret is going to stop, not go in for that Zac. We're going to let him... No, there she goes. She comes in for the Zac now. Lands the spikes. His passive is popped. See if she's going to be able to take down his pieces in time. Tristana's all over her now. Zac and Tristana. Lucian comes through the turret. The Nami bubbles onto Tristana there. Not enough to get a kill. And Renekton bullying Ryze in the top lane. Some great plays coming out of Team Pow Pow. The music from Nami going B there. That River Spirit Nami skin. Always surprises me when she goes back. Tristana trying to farm up here. Solid 15 farm behind the Lucian. Needs to do everything she can to get caught up. Renekton all over Ryze. Takes massive pressure though. Ignite onto Ryze, see if it's enough to finish him off. Doesn't look like... I misspoke as Ryze goes down. Well played, Renekton. He had to flash into it, but he got it. Lux is going to go down for her blue buff. Looks like Anivia is going to fall off that turret and possibly go down for the same thing. Or not, she's going to stay mid there as Evelyn goes into the opposition's jungle. Leaving the blue buff up for later. And that's a kill onto Zac. Well played by Team Pow Pow there. I was going to comment on Renekton being really low, trying to help Evelyn with that red buff on the opposition side. Then Zac comes in and just gets deleted. Death Sentence comes out, but Lucian dodges out of it. The bubbles land onto Tristana. Culling comes out. Tristana takes a double shot there. Double tap. Double tap. We just watched the Explicit destroy their opposition. They may be complacent having had an easy game. They've also gone for a fairly late game composition. Ryze is going to get deleted. Making it 4-0 for Pow Pow. There's not much to say to that, but Pow Pow. Tristana now more than 20 farm behind means she has no semblance. I'm not sure if that's the right word I'm looking for winning this lane. Namiok comes out and stops that Zac dead in his tracks, but there's 4 in this bottom lane. Lux back mid to defend as Anivia is going to fall off that turret and potentially head to bottom lane. Evelyn's already in the bottom lane though. Has not yet been seen. Renekton all over this Ryze, and Ryze has no turret to defend him. But Renekton falls off, goes back for the farm. Evelyn has been seen there. Zac's going to jump onto her even though he's really low. Not sure why Evelyn's not capitalizing on this. Death Sentence lands onto Lucian. Thresh jumps over the wall, might get caught out. He's able to escape, but eats the bubbles from Nami. Anivia now in trouble. Flashes to get out of trouble for the most part, but flashed into the Dragon Pit, which is going to cost her egg form at the very least. And Anivia gets deleted. It was definitely misplayed by Anivia, though she did manage to get out of trouble initially and dodge the Lux ult, which came in after her flash. She flashed herself right into the Dragon Pit, right into a place she could not get out of. And with the entire opposing team there, Zac jumps in, takes that dragon, grabs the Thresh Lantern to get out. Well played by purple team. Trying to get a little bit of objective control there. Gonna cost them a second turret in the top lane though. Renekton coming in all over this Zac. Zac pops his passive. Renekton doing his best to take that HP down, and he does it. It's a killing spree now for Renekton, setting him up to 3-0. Anivia looking like she's going to take this mid turret. Renekton is there for her, so she's definitely getting this mid turret. Team Pow Pow now up by 5k gold at the 12-minute mark, nearly the 13-minute mark. Tristana down by a solid 40 farm to this Lucian. Doing a decent job of staying semi-relevant with those 3 Doran's blades to his... Ooh, he just completed his Bork. That is not the greatest situation for Tristana right now. And Lux ult comes in, not quite enough. Never mind, that is enough as the damage comes in and Lux actually secures that kill on Evelyn. Anivia's stun goes in onto 2 members of High Five. Sorry, not High Five. Of Explicit. This is Pow Pow versus Explicit in Not So Stock Gaming's Open Bracket Tournament semi-finals matchup. Having Explicit sieging this mid turret, looking like they want to take it, but Anivia and Renekton are there. It's going to be 5v2, costing Anivia her life. Renekton picks up a kill, but he goes down as well after a double kill. Nami and Evelyn are there now, but Lucian gets the bottom turret while this mid turret stays up. Some great plays coming out of Pow Pow, pushing their advantage, split pushing every time Explicit groups up, grouping when Explicit is split. Doing a great job of maintaining map control. It was unfortunate they lost the dragon to Zac, But that was an amazing play by Zach, jumping in and grabbing the lantern to get out with his life. Zach grabs his red buff there. Looks like Anivia is going to leave this blue. Sorry, Evelyn is going to leave this blue for Anivia. And Anivia grabs it with the Ice Blast there. Of course, Thresh and Lux going over for the blue on purple side. It would be a shame if Thresh grabbed it. Lux gets that blue, now having double buffs. Renekton and Evelyn in purple side's jungle. If they had sat there just a moment longer, they could have had this Zac potentially, but they're going in for the Rise. And that's going to be successful. The Rise gets deleted. He almost had Evelyn there, but the burst was not quite enough. Zac comes in. We'll see if she can survive this somehow. Well played by Evelyn, getting out with... What is that? 100 HP. 120 now that she's regened a little bit. The camera will re-unlock in a moment. We are on direct camera still. I just wanted to click that Evelyn and see what her HP was at exactly. Waver Renekton, way behind this turret. Eats a death sentence out the turret and gets deleted. It's a killing spree for Lux, 3-0. Lux may be the only hope left for Explicit. See if they can feed her enough to actually turn this game around. Though they're only down by 6k gold, 4 kills. It is 4 turrets that they are behind by, however. Has seemed like a fairly one-sided game, but these are a number of late game champions, with Tristana, as we have said before, being said to win the lane if she comes out only slightly behind. Renekton, of course, falling off the later we get into game, though with the score, the way he has his score right now at 7-1, we'll see if he actually falls off at all, versus the Rise, who is struggling to maintain to be a contender here, behind by 30 farm, 0 kills, 3 deaths, but he does have 5 assists. Pow Pow setting up for a dragon here. They leash it right out that pit. 4 members of Team Pow Pow. More than enough to take down the dragon. See if they can respond to this mid push before the turret goes down. Seems like they'll be able to. That Namiel does connect with somebody, I believe. Gonna have Thresh get deleted. And now 4 members of Pow Pow sieging the Explicit mid turret, mid inner turret. Of course, waiting for that minion wave, not actually managed to get any kind of damage onto it with 3 members of Explicit sitting right behind there, and Luxall comes in destroying that minion wave right off the bat. Completely denying Pow Pow the pressure they wanted to take that turret. Nearly 20 minutes into the game, Pow Pow is up by 8k gold, 5 kills, 4 turrets. We'll see if they can maintain this lead, as Explicit is playing fairly well despite the difficulty they're having. And the longer this game goes, the easier it will become for them to actually turn these fights around and potentially actually win this game. Lucian picking up a red buff for himself. Seeing both sides here try to get a bit of an advantage by clearing out wards. Vision control can make a huge difference in almost every game matchup here. Simply being able to tell where your opponents are, what they're doing, is a great advantage, especially if your opponents can't see where you are and what you are doing. Vision control allows the insight needed to make informed, smart plays. Push your advantage versus try your luck. We've got Evelyn in purple side's jungle again. Just not leaving them that red buff. The bubbles come out just missing Zac. A good dodge, but the Anivia wall is enough to force him around and pop his passive at the very least. Doesn't look like they're going to secure that kill, unfortunately. And Anivia takes a lot of damage. She managed to get out without her passive popping. As Anivia able to come down onto Rise. And that's a blue buff steal. Blue buff goes over to to Anivia. We all know when Nami's going to recall. That music. Zac farming up his jungle here, trying to get caught up. Rise doing the same, but in the top lane. Explicit behind in farm all the way across the board. Behind in kills, and behind in turrets. It's going to be a difficult match for them to come back from... a difficult match for them to come back and win. We'll see if Pow Pow can push their advantage and actually get the first inhibitor and turret and inhibitor of the game. Potentially win it without losing a single turret. Renekton being a giant bully all the way across the board. He is sitting at 8-2 with 1 assist. He has only not been involved in one of his team's kills, which likely was that kill in the bottom lane when Zac tried to gank and Thresh went down, I believe. Evelyn and Lucian starting up this Baron by themselves. We'll see if they're able to do it as Anivia comes in to put some more damage on there, and Nami comes in as well. There is 0 response from Team Explicit. Not even a ping of the Baron area. Oh, Thresh comes out, throws a death sentence, but connects it with Baron not quite in time to pick up the kill. Evelyn, I believe, smited that down. With a Baron buff in their favor now, we'll see if Team Pow Pow can push in a few more turrets. They're going to instead focus on a dragon first. Which is, of course, a good play. We see many teams go straight from Baron directly to dragon to pick up that extra gold. We've got both teams trying to farm out the jungles, farm out their lanes, take off pressure or put on pressure. No actual champions fighting with each other here. Though we do have 4 members of Explicit in the mid lane. Death Sentence got thrown by Thresh at I'm not quite sure what. Explicit doing a great job here of just defending and timing out that Baron buff from Team Pow Pow. Knowing they are behind and Team Pow Pow does have a Baron, it is really advantageous for them to turtle, at least until the Baron is worn off. So we may see a little bit of a lull in the action here, unless Pow Pow is able to push their advantage and actually force themselves onto a turret. Luxalt comes out. So does the culling. Namialt comes through. So we do see a bit of action here. Looks like Pow Pow is going to engage under that turret. Not going to be enough to get them any kills quite yet. But Thresh is going to take a lot of pressure. Turret goes down. Thresh goes down. Renekton, huge in that back line.
Purple team's turret has been destroyed.
And that is the first inhibitor of the game. Going over to Team Pow Pow. We see the Renekton being the only tank on Team Pow Pow actually playing out really well for them, especially with him getting fed. He's able to get the beef he needed early on and able to actually control those team fights. Though a lot of his kills haven't actually been in team fights. It's been him and Edelin catching out members of Explicit, which is exactly what they needed to get him fed so that they can push this early advantage, though it's not quite so early anymore. We're now 30 minutes into the game. I can see fireworks out my door. I apologize, I'm distracted from the game for a moment, but there's fireworks. Alright, back to the game. Happy MURICA Day! I know I'm in Canada. There's been fireworks going off all week, though. We did have our July 1st holiday only a few days ago. That death sentence just misses. Thrown right into the middle of the opposition team. But not able to connect. Alright, seems like the fireworks sounds have ended. I can get more back into this game than I was moments ago. My English has failed here. Rise. Taking massive pressure. Renekton gonna get another kill. 10-2 and 1. Renekton getting huge. He's now all over this Thresh with support. That's going to be enough for another kill. It's a double kill for Renekton. Renekton somehow last hitting everything, even when his when other team members are there. Seems like Evelyn either not able to last hit them or deciding to actually let Renekton have those kills, which if so is a great play by her. It's the second inhibitor of the game going down. This might be the first Nexus turret. We see Renekton getting forced off it as he gets focused, and that is one Nexus turret down. That is 9 turrets to 0, 13 kills to 5. Pow Pow up by, looks like 15k gold here. Sorry, 17k gold. My math's a little bit off. It's going to be the third inhibitor turret going down. We have a team fight. No kills on either side there. Kind of surprising. But Lux gets caught out from the looks of things. Zac goes full ham into the middle of the enemy team. Nami goes down, but they get an inhibitor for it. Pow Pow may have overstayed this one. Of course, it does not seem so as Renekton goes back in for a kill. Make that a double kill, while Anivia picks up a third one for him. Lux flashes out, denying Renekton that kill he so desperately wanted, and she ults for the Evelyn kill. Lux maintaining this flawless score despite losing the game. I mean, not losing the game already, but having lost, despite their team losing all lanes and being so far behind. We'll see if anybody can pick this Lux off. I'm sure that is Team Pow Pow's first priority right now. Making sure this Lux does not finish the game with 0 deaths. Tristana as well, sitting at 202. Fairly impressive to not die, though they have lost most, if not all, objectives and complete map control. It's another dragon going over to Team Pow Pow. We'll see if they're able to end this, as the opposition only has one Nexus turret left. Winion's actually putting pressure on top and bottom. Going to take the entire team to defend this pretty much, which lets Pow Pow set up for Baron. And I assume after this Baron they're going to push right in and end it. See if my prediction is correct. Baron goes down to the smite from Evelyn. Luxalt comes out, does like 3/4 of Anivia's health. That was impressive. The Nexus turret does go down. Double kill for Evelyn. Renekton being a huge bully. The wall from Anivia comes up to stop Rise. We see Tristana get caught up and not get killed. And that's the game. Nexus popping for Team Pow Pow, who is victorious over Explicit. Though I'm going to give a huge shout out to Lux and Tristana there for the 0 death scores that game, despite the difficulties their team had. Alright, so we got Team Pow Pow victorious there. Actually, I can't see what I'm doing, so I'm going to take 2 seconds to go turn the light on. It's gotten awfully dark in here. And then we will double check on the semifinals game in the other half of the bracket. There we go, a little bit of light. I can see what I'm doing again. Get Pow Pow as the winners for this. Go 1-0. And Pow Pow advances to the finals matchup. We've got the Dung Clan fighting against Mimic Fission in the other half of our semifinals bracket. We've got X Requiem I actually have on my friends list, I do believe. So we don't have to lolnexes this one. Oops. Oh, looks like Mimic has won. So we're going to have our finals matchup going momentarily. Congratulations to Mimic Fission on making your way to the finals match of our open bracket tournament tonight. Alright, so this match is getting made up momentarily. We also have a bronze match happening between Explicit and the Dung Clan. They will be competing for the 3rd place title, as well as the 4th place title, of course, so nobody is actually aiming for 4th place. We'll see who comes out victorious in that bronze matchup, as well as our finals matchup of tonight's open bracket tournament on this very fine Independent Day. We have made it through 3 rounds of play now, some teams having only played 2 rounds depending on where they entered the tournament here. We did have a bunch of buys into the 2nd round of play. Looks like Team Pow Pow has won 2 games, while Mimic Fission has actually come all the way from round 1, winning 3 games to secure their finals match placement. Neither feat, of course, being less impressive than the other. Both teams are 100% undefeated during this tournament. That is the only way to get to the finals matchup. Oh, wrong button. This is the one I wanted. I checked Twitch chat for a moment to see myself being called racist. Something about dung versus down, however you pronounce their name. Duong? The Duong clan? My mistake. It's like the Duong clan. Somebody tell me how to pronounce that so I can stop butchering this name. Got 5 members of both teams into the game here. Seems like things will be starting momentarily. Once again, this is Not So Stock Gaming's open bracket tournament for July 4th. This is Dark Corp showcasing for you tonight. And this is our finals matchup that we will be following here between Team Pow Pow and Mimic Fission. Just waiting for both teams to confirm that they are ready, and then we'll be into Champion Select. Check Twitch chat here momentarily to see if... yeah, it is Duong. My mistake, guys. I didn't really think it through, to be honest. I heard the Champion Select noise, and there it is. We are now officially into the finals matchup of tonight's tournament. Thank you again to all of our participants, as well as all of our viewers for joining us tonight. It has been a great night, at least from my perspective. I've had a lot of fun so far. Looking forward to this finals matchup. As Lee Sin and Evelyn both get banned out, we're not going to get to see that Evelyn jungle, which I believe has been in every game so far. Of course, these are the finals, so we'll see if the unmentionable champion gets banned out. I'm not going to say it because I do know that some members of Purple Team here, Mimic Fission, are watching Twitch chat. I don't want to... never mind. It's too late. Jax is banned. We're not going to see a Jax in the finals of tonight's tournament. I believe this is the first in 4 or 5 events that we won't have a Jax in the final matchup. Bans go through really quickly, seeing Lee Sin, Jax, and Ziggs from Team Pow Pow, and Evelyn, Yasuo, Braum coming out of Mimic Fission. I just noticed Clan Rensali appears to be offline, so I may be the only one running things right now. I apologize if people are trying to get a hold of us. Oop, wrong windows. Alright, we got Nami locked in by Limey. And a Lulu looks like she might come out. Lots of Lulus tonight. There's the Morgana as well, meaning that Lulu is not going to be support. We see a Lucian get locked in nice and early, while temp name 01A is going to take his time selecting that champion, apparently. Looks like we might see an Udder for the first time tonight. Would kind of make me happy. No one likes playing against an Udder. Udyr. Except to get switched out for Pantheon. No one likes playing against a Mantheon either, though, right? So... of course, each time I say this, he switches. And Nocturne does get finalized. So again, this is the finals matchup for Not So Stock Gaming's July 4th tournament. Once again, to all of our American viewers and participants, Happy America Day. I am a little bit confused by that Nunu pick. We'll see what their last pick is, but I'm tempted to say that Nunu is going to be in the jungle. This is the first time we're seeing Mimic Fission play here tonight. Looking at their names, I do believe I had X Requiem on my friends list previously. He added me today. Oh yes, he added me today because they had a roster change. We had to put in before 7 p.m. in order for them to be able to play tonight. Also, to anybody who does participate in our tournaments and does not know this, once you've signed up, you may actually email us or send me an in-game message or Twitch message us. Though I do respond to emails best, as does the rest of our admin team. There are a number of us with the access to the admin@notsostock.ca email account. So if you email us your roster changes, they generally get put into place before the tournament starts. Alright, we're going to see a Kassadin get played tonight. Now that we're into the finals, I should actually be able to move this over. No, I can't move it over. It's too big. It's too much. Can I resize it? Oh, you can resize the League client window. Look at that. Oh god. What size was it originally? I don't even know. Close enough. Alright, 50 seconds for both teams to lock in their runes and masteries here, guys. Then we'll be into 3 minutes of spectator delay, and we'll have the finals matchup for your viewing pleasure. This is Not So Stock Gaming's open bracket tournament, meaning any summoner may participate as long as they have a team with at least 4 other team members, including them, or not including themselves. So for a total of 5, and up to 4 substitutes. Tonight, for our finals matchup, we're going to be watching Team Pow Pow versus Mimic Fission. I knew it was Fission something, but I could not quite remember the name there. I apologize. We're into spectator delay now. Just 2.5 minutes until this matchup gets started. Well, I guess it's technically already started, but until we get to see the matchup start. It looks like it will be a Nunu jungle. I called that correctly, meaning Tryndamere is going to be in the top lane with that Ignite Ghost. 2 members of Team Pow Pow here having teleport on them, versus no teleports on the opposition, Mimic Fusion. We'll see how that plays out for both teams. The lack of Ignite on the mid lane, though it is a Kassadin, he has Ultimate Chase. Ultimate Kill Secure. We're going to get to see another Nami Lucian bot lane coming out of blue side, contested by what I'm going to assume to be a Morgana Tristana bot lane. Of course, the Tristana pairs really well with both Thresh and Morgana, though most ADCs pair really well with Thresh or Morgana, just because of the heavy CC potential from both of them. Just 1 minute left in delay here, guys. I'm kind of curious to see how that Nunu jungle plays out, as well as the Nocturne. I mean, Nocturne is a fairly standard jungler, though we haven't seen one recently. And Nunu is something I don't think I've really seen played all that commonly since back in Season 2 or Season 3. I'm also kind of curious how the Lulu-Kassadin matchup will play out, since Lulu stops the all-in comps and Kassadin pretty much being melee range with a couple spells is all in, like it's his only choice really. So we'll see if that is a poor choice for blue team versus the Lulu. Though I think Lulu may have gotten locked in after the Kassadin, which could mean it wasn't a choice at all for blue team. Alright, and we are heading towards load screen. Load screen taking forever and days to start up here. That's a challenger trim. That's 2 challenger trims. That was surprising. Alright. Looking forward to a interesting match here. We've seen Team Pow Pow do really, really well. The Triumphant Rise skin coming out his second time for them. We have a skin on this Nunu, meaning only Nocturne is lacking a skin, so it's not both junglers this time, it's just one jungler who is skinless. Better than being spineless, I suppose. Just waiting for Nunu and Lucian to hit 100% there. Somehow I combined Lucian's name and Nunu's name to make an already existing name that is also in the game. Alright, and we're on to the Summoner's Rift, guys. I apologize that I've been a little bit lacking in my announcing during the spectator delay in that load screen. It's been a long tournament for me. It's been a great tournament as well, though. We are now into our finals matchup between Team Pow Pow and Mimic Fission. Had to think for half a second to figure out their name again. It is Mimic Fission on the purple side and Team Pow Pow on the blue side. Alright guys, the game is welcoming us to the Summoner's Rift. I've already welcomed us once, but welcome again. You got Mimic Fission here setting up for an invade. They're all over that tri-bush. Nobody with any kind of solid vision there aside from the one ward up around their blue buff for Team Pow Pow here. Of course, Team Pow Pow seems to know there's something going on. Playing this really defensive. Trinity is going to go B. Starts it at the 110 mark. So for anybody watching that, 110 seconds into the game is when the Tryndamere decided that it was not worth sticking around for that the failed first blood attempt in that tri-bush. Though it looks like the 4 of them will go for an invade around the long way. I don't think I've seen an invade play out this way before. We're now at 150 seconds. Buffs come up in 2 seconds. The buffs are now up. Purple team going in for this red buff. They've got Nocturne there, eats a Dark Binding, gets deleted. Nunu sticking around on that red buff to take it. Gets this. I'm not sure if he smited that. No, he did not smite that. He bit it. And Tryndamere is all over Rise, putting some massive pressure onto him nice and early. Lulu and Kassadin exchanging a little bit in the mid lane. While Nunu runs up to Nocturne's blue buff. Gonna force him off of that buff. I want to catch what's going on in that jungle. We've got Tryndamere in on this side as well. Nunu gets the buff without a problem. Lucian about to get deleted, but he stays alive. A great start for Mimic Fission. Dark Binding comes in. That was an impressive Dark Binding onto Nami there. I suppose she wasn't really moving, so it wasn't overly hard for Morgana to land, but just the positioning there. Dark Binding actually connects with Lucian. Thought that one was going to miss. Lucian gets some pressure onto Tristana. Now that we're into this game, I'm going to reorder the scoreboard for you guys. Tristana's pretty low, but seems to not be overly concerned here. And another Dark Binding lands, this time onto Nami again. And Lulu pressuring that mid lane. Nocturne's going to have a really hard time getting caught up here, having lost both of his first buffs. I mean, he is only 3 farm behind the Nunu. But we'll see exactly how that translates into gold and kill score later on as Nunu comes up for his first gank of the game, I guess. That first kill having happened inside of the jungle to the invade. Sorry, first assist, not kill. It was Lulu who picked up the kill during that invade. Tryndamere farming under his opposition's turret. Not really worried about Nocturne coming out at all. Tristana takes some massive pressure, is forced to jump out. Tristana actually up by 15 farm this game. Another game where we're getting to see a Tristana be ahead of her laning opposition. Nunu comes out from behind the turret, throws the Ice Blast, and that's going to be another kill on Rise. Sorry, the first kill on Rise. It's a great gank by Nunu, well played by Tryndamere. Rise proving to not be an overly difficult matchup for this Trin. At least not at this early point in the game. They are now 2-0 in favor of Mimic Fission. We've got Trin and Nunu still up in this top lane. Gonna take another kill onto Rise, potentially. Rise goes down a second time. This poor Rise. Tristana and Morgana alone in that bottom lane. Same as Tryndamere alone in this top lane. We got Ryze teleporting back out from just in front of his first turret there. Not quite sure if it came off cooldown just as he was running out, or if he chose a poor time to actually use his teleport. Got Dragon being pinged out by Lulu. Looks like Nunu's on it too with her. Tristana and Morgana respond. Looks like Nami might know something's going on. Same as Cass is coming down. But he's just going to drop a ward. It is an uncontested Dragon going over to purple side. Mimic Vision dominating this match so far. And Bubble lands onto Tristana. They're going to come in on it. Dark Binding comes through and does not land. Tristana taking a fair amount of pressure. Might actually go down here. Morgana's ult comes in. Locks down both Nami on Lucian. The bubble comes in onto Morgana. She flashes out with 300 HP. Tristana content to farm here. You know, I feel like she could have had a kill on one of them. She switched back to pressuring the minions, maintaining her CS score. She's now up by 20 farm. Nunu and Nocturne having a bit of a tussle in the Nocturne's jungle. Another bubble lands, but it's not enough to secure much damage onto this Tristana. Dark Binding just misses Nami, but she's going to get stuck in the cesspool. And Nunu is behind that turret again with Lulu. There's going to be a kill coming out here. This is going to be 4v2. And I want to say double kill. There it is. Double kill for Tristana. Her team lets Tristana pick up both those last hits. Getting her the feed she's going to much need. Though it seems like she's already got some feed here. And that's the first turret of the game going over to purple team in the bottom lane. Tryndamere coming in onto Nocturne in his jungle. Ignites him and he goes down. Six and 0 for Mimic Vision here. What a great performance so far. See if Team Pow Pow can come back from being behind. You've watched them dominate 2 games. Sorry, I guess they were fairly evenly matched during one of their games, and then they dominated their next game. I'm forgetting who played which games at this point, I'm sorry. Been a great night with lots of amazing plays from both teams. Sorry, from both sides in all matches. Hard to keep track of who's who and what's what. Though it is clear that right now Mimic Vision has an advantage. 5k gold at the 10-minute mark. 6 kills to 0 with 1 turret. Tristana all over this Lucian. Nami coming in to help him out. But Morgana heading towards that bot lane as well. So for some reason she was up towards mid moments ago. Possibly just dropping that vision ward. Looks like she's spotted out by blue team. I believe that blue buff just went over to Lulu. Tristana really pushing her advantage there. Not going to be enough for her to get the Nami kill, and she's going to eat a culling, which isn't quite enough to get her. But Lucian comes in on it. Nunu's behind her. Tristana gets out with sub 100 HP. Lulu all over Cassidy, and it seems like he might have went in on her there and just gotten stopped. That's a turret in the top lane for Tryndamere. kill onto Tristana from Nocturne. Well played by this Nocturne, trying to get back into the game. Trindamere takes some massive pressure from Rise. Team Pow Pow looking to turn this game around here. Only down by 5k gold, it is possible. Nunu harassing the Nocturne some more. That's going to be a mid lane turret for Mimic Vision as well, making this 3 turrets to 0. Might be able to make it 4 as they try and push this inner turret in the mid lane. Nocturne is going to come in and Rise will respond as well, but that turret will go down. Trindamere looking like he's going to have to pop his ultimate to stay alive. Stay alive he does, though. A little bit of a lull in the action here. Morgana tries to land a Dark Binding onto Nami there. Not sure if she had vision or just throwing a Dark Binding. I don't see a ward there, so I'm wondering if she was just trying to get lucky or had some sort of clue that Nami was nearby. This is going to be the second dragon going over to Mimic Vision. Uncontested. The purple team pinging there to just harass that Nocturne some more. Tristana gonna push down this bottom lane inner turret. He's a little bit too much aggro, so she has to back off of it, but Nami takes a lot of pressure and goes down. Nunu gets really low, but the Lulu tries to keep him alive. Not gonna be enough as Nocturne comes in, gets himself deleted for it though. It's a double kill for Tristana. Before she rocket jumps out, gets followed by the Kassadin, gets deleted. Lulu now by herself versus 3. Lulu gets deleted. It's a double kill for Rise. Pow Pow coming back into this game. Trindamere trying to hammer down this top turret, make the misplay in the bottom lane by his team not cost them too much. He gets that second inner turret, making their now 5 turrets to 0. Complete objective control of this map. They've got decent vision. The Team Pow Pow does have control of their side of the jungle. Nocturne escapes from this Trindamere, having popped Ignite on him from the looks of it. Or it could have just been Trindamere's rage burning around him. Trindamere goes over the wall, gets caught by the bubble. Nunu goes in 1v2 here, but they're not going to capitalize on it. This Nocturne picks up a red buff for himself. Tristana, though, gonna rocket jump onto him, try and take a red buff for herself. Buff transfer complete. Lucian doesn't get there quite in time to keep Nocturne alive. Trindamere coming in on this Rise. Goes really heavy, but he gets caught by the Rune Prison, takes a lot of damage. He does have Undying Rage still, though, so this fight's going to go in favor of Tryndamere. That's a kill for Trin. See if he can get out somehow. But he gets shut down by the Rise. Sorry, by the Kassadin. I'm confused. How did Rise get that kill? I swear it was the Rise picture that came up on the screen for this shutdown. Tristana gets caught out there, but it's not going to be enough for them to capitalize the killer. Namiel comes in, catches out two of them. Morgana pops her ult into Zanya's. And then Tristana gets a kill onto the Nocturne, but Nunu goes down to Kassadin. Great defense being put up here by Team Pow Pow as they try to come back from this deficit. They lost a lot of early turrets. Took a lot of early deaths. But they are slowly trying to bring it back. Staying down by only 8k here. Tryndamere taking some pressure from a blue buff. Of course, he was just there to get the ward down and possibly take this buff as well. We got Mimic Fission, Mimic Fission, pushing this bottom lane turret here. Looking to potentially end the game before Team Pow Pow can get caught up. Dark Binding goes in but doesn't land on anybody. Dark Binding this time comes in and lands on Lucian. Enough for her to pop the cesspool, but not get her team in there to kill him. Looks like they're a little bit leery of going in there under that turret. They're going to fall off as a group and go in for that dragon, though. Solidifying their goal lead a tiny bit further. Now, the 20-minute mark, they might be able to set up for Baron soon. I doubt they're going to in the next 5 minutes, though. They are maintaining some pretty impressive map control without actually needing the additional buff from Baron. Though Tryndamere has gone up that way, and somebody is pinged out to assist. Looks like Trin and Nunu might try and solo that Baron. I was mistaken about them not trying in the next 5 minutes. They're going to try it right now. I did not believe they needed it to end the game, but it looks like they're going to try and take it and end it a little bit faster. See if that is the right play coming out from Mimic Fission here. That's the first Baron of the game, going over to Mimic Fission. 3 dragons, 1 Baron, 11 kills and 6 turrets. Versus Team Pow Pow, 7 kills. It's been quite the game so far. Mimic Fission doing a great job of dominating their opponents. Team Pow Pow doing their best to stay in it. They are now down by 11k at this 22-minute mark, but if they are able to survive the next 10 minutes, it once again becomes anybody's game. Team Pow Pow, of course, going to have to turtle here with Mimic Fission having that Baron buff, and Team Pow Pow only having their inhibitor turrets and Nexus turrets left in their base. Looks like Mimic Fission going to go back to sieging this bottom lane turret. Dark Binding lands onto Lucian. Trendemir comes in and deletes him. The turret goes down. It's going to be the first inhibitor as well here, potentially. And there goes the inhibitor. That is 3 kills for Mimic Fission. It looks like Tristana may have jumped right into that base. She's gonna look for her corpse there. Oh. Yeah, she did jump into the base. Kassadin chasing down this Morgana. The culling comes out. Trendemir turning around onto Nocturne does a lot of damage, but has to come out. His team pinging him back there, even though I feel like he could have gotten that kill without much difficulty at all. Purple side ping, and they need to defend that top turret. Going for the no turrets lost game here. See if that minion wave can change this for them. Tredemir's going to get there with a little time to spare, though. Mimic Fission up by 15k gold here. 8 turrets to 0. 14 kills to 8. 4 dragons to 0. 1 Baron to 0. I'm not quite sure how Team Pow Pow is gonna come back from this. The Dark Binding just misses there. It's a great dodge by Kassadin. Dark Binding comes in and lands on Nami. Not going to be enough for an engage with her way behind that wall. 4 members of Mimic Fission now pushing between this top and mid lane. Nocturne comes in onto Tristana, eats the Nunu ultimate, and gets deleted. Tristana getting a lot of pressure. Kassadin goes down instead, though. Tristana eats the Nami bubbles, gets help from Lulu, is able to delete Nami. A minion has taken out the Nexus turret, and Trendemir is pounding this Nexus down with the help from Nunu. That is a victory for Mimic Fission. Congratulations, Mimic Fission. You have just won the finals matchup of Not So Stock Gaming's Open Bracket Tournament. You are our victors. That victory is not just match victory, that is tournament victory. Congratulations, guys, on your first place placement for those Rise skins and 3200 RP per team member. Alright. So, to anybody just joining us, well, I hope you're not just joining us because we're pretty much done for the night. But thank you everybody for joining us. This was Not So Stock Gaming's Open Bracket Tournament for July 4th. We do have a victory for Mimic Fission over Team Pow Pow. And I believe our bronze matchup may still be happening there. We may be able to catch some of this bronze matchup if you guys want to. So let's do that, and then we'll close out the stream once everybody is done tonight. So I'm just going to find a team member from Explicit here. I do believe we streamed them last game, so it shouldn't be too difficult. I do believe I have Camel God here, potentially on my friends list, or I ended up lol nexusing them last time. That is exactly what happened last time here. So we're going to do it again. Check on Camel God's status here. Click spectate. Control paste this whole thing into Windows R. Stop that. Just gonna, oops. Having some trouble copy pasting things apparently. Control C, Control V, run. There we go. Into our bronze matchup now, since we just watched Mimic Fission defeat Team Pow Pow in the finals match. So Mimic Fission has qualified for our first place slot, with Team Pow Pow taking the second place slot, having just been defeated in the finals matchup. Both teams were previously undefeated going into that game, as both of these teams were undefeated until the semifinals. However, they both have now lost one round and are competing for the third and fourth place titles, let's call them. Let's double check on what's going on here with the bracket. It is Explicit versus the Duong clan. Looks like Explicit should be blue side, while Duong should be purple. Getting into this game, we'll see exactly how things are playing out so far. And hopefully there's a little bit of action left for us to catch. Have a little bit of excitement, a little bit of fun. Alright, 21 to 25 kills. 50.9k to 50.5k. This is a close game. 4 turrets to 4. Alright, we are 30 minutes into this game almost, and it is definitely still anybody's game. Once again, this is Not So Stock Gaming's Open Bracket Tournament for July 4th. It is America Day, Independence Day, whatever they call their holiday. Lucian gets deleted. J4 gets deleted. We might see Zyra go down as well. We are 30 minutes into the game. Death timers are at just above 30 seconds. Ribbon goes down here, but so does Darius. So death timers are around 45 seconds at this point. So a solid ace could end the game for either team. We'll see who gets their 1600 RP and who is left with only 800 RP. Though, getting paid for losing 2 games is not always the worst situation, especially when you only had to win 1 or 2 to get to that point where you could lose 2 and still get your 800 RP per team member. Get the scoreboard reorganized here. And there we go. Alright, 22 kills to 28. Looks like the Duong clan here has a slight advantage with a 2k gold lead. Not sure who has better objective control with us just starting the game. Starting to spectate the game at the 29-minute mark. Dragon was already down, I do believe. Baron is still up. I don't know if either team has grabbed a Baron, though I doubt it, since the respawn is, 5, 7, 10 minutes. I'm not even sure how long it takes for Baron to respawn. Yes, that is silver logic, something I should really look up. Gonna have that blue buff going over to Anivia. Got Lee Sin being pinged back by his team, potentially. Except he's going to get a turret in that bottom lane. Looks like Vayne is with him. This could be a base race. Darius is going to be forced to respond. J4 going back as well. Looks like they stopped that J4 recall. Stopped the Darius. No, Darius did get to recall. But they're going to get that turret in the bottom lane before anybody gets there. Vayne doing a lot of damage onto Darius, taking a lot of pressure herself. Gets dunked, but is still alive. Goes down. Well played, Darius. The lifesteal from Vayne, not quite enough. She didn't kite him quite well enough to get all the damage out she needed to. And she got herself deleted. They did get 2 turrets for it, though, which is a great play in the bottom lane. Looks like they're going to set up for Baron from that as well. Zyra is in position to respond, and Anivia is in position to respond. That's going to be 2 team members to 4, meaning Thresh here is going to be able to potentially slow them down enough to secure that Baron. We'll see if it plays out the way Duong Clan wants it to. Thresh is going to just get out with the help. Sorry. Blue team slays Baron. Stolen by J4. J4 lands his ult onto Riven, but she jumps out of it. Was almost a kill onto Thresh. Thresh helped one of his team members out who almost got killed as well. But they were not able to secure the Baron. Meaning it did go over to blue team, putting blue team back into the game a lot better than Duong Clan would like them to be. This game, though Duong Clan is up by 6 kills, they're only up by just over 1k gold, which is really, really close at the 35-minute mark. It's going to make it 5 turrets to 6 here. And a full team fight is coming out. The culling comes in. Lee Sin trying to just run there through their team. Not quite sure if he was going to try and land his ult back or what, but that's a double kill for Darius. It's a double kill for TF. Lucian goes down. That's a triple kill for TF. Let's see if he's able to take down the Anivia as well for a Quadra. But Vayne gets the last hit instead. TF crying inside right now. Really wanted that Quadra kill, I bet. Even with the with the 4 deaths on blue side, it's not going to be quite enough for the Duong Clan to finish this game. Explicit still has a chance to come back from it. Though Duong might get this inhibitor here, putting lots of damage onto it. J4 comes in onto Vayne and she gets deleted. The inhibitor is still standing. red buff over to Lee Sin. Duong clan really needed that Baron in order to secure their lead here and finish the game. But Explicit did a great job of stealing it and is managing to come back. Zyra, the only team member with that Baron buff still, however denying it to the Duong clan, was enough to turn this fight around a little bit. I mean, it has been close since we joined them. Got Duong clan pushing down the mid lane, looking like they... No, they have pinged out that mid turret. Mid inner turret. Looks like they really want it, but Zyra and Darius are there to defend. Lee Sin lands a Q there, but doesn't jump in. Duong clan looking like they're going to set up for this inhibitor. I do believe they got it once before, and it's now respawned. No, they didn't get it last time, so it's still up. My mistake. They have not had super minions yet. If they can pick it up, it'll be the first inhibitor of the game. Riven gets caught out and gets deleted. Darius. All over those dunks. Explicit making a play here. He gets that first inhibitor turret for their team. Lee Sin comes in. Might get himself deleted here. It's a team fight. Lee Sin goes down. I was going to say cost J4 his life. It does cost J4 his life, but he gets Vayne for it. The ADC in mid lane is still alive, but this Riven's going to come in potentially. Bouncing onto this. Oh, TF comes in, knocks down this Darius. Kill goes over to Riven though, as TF starts to focus Lucian instead, with Darius still having like 100 HP. That's a shutdown onto Lucian from TF. 4 members of Explicit are down. Seems like Thresh is going to defend while everybody else pushes for this mid lane. With only 20 seconds till there's 3 members of Explicit. They're not going to have time to end this, especially not in the mid lane. Surprised they didn't try to backdoor that bottom inhibitor. TF Zanya comes out, but they get the turret for it. He gets shut down by Anivia. Kills now 30 to 37. Turret 6 to 7. Gold even. The battle for third place is intense. "40 minutes into the game, it is definitely anybody's game. An ace or even one good pick could spell doom for either team. As Explicit initiates the Baron here, looks like Duong Clan is going to try and contest it, but they're going to wait to go in. See if Lee Sin throws this Q. No, Death Sentence goes through. Lucian, sorry, not Lucian. Thresh is in there. Everybody comes in. Dragon goes over to blue team, though. I mean, Baron goes over to blue team, though. It's a double kill for purple team. Vayne down on blue team. I guess the TF was killed way before this fight. It's a double kill for Darius. Dunking people all over the place. Another member of Duong Clan goes down. Leaving 3 members from Explicit to try and push this advantage they've just made for themselves. J4 going ham under the turret. It's gonna be enough. TF goes down. See if Lee Sin has the damage he needs to get this kills. But that's a double kill for Lucian. And a turret.
Purple team's turret has been destroyed.
Darius pounding away on this inhibitor. J4 and Lucian coming to help him. The entirety of Duong Clan down for at least 15 more seconds. We're going to see Explicit try and push for this Nexus. 1 Nexus turret. 2 Nexus turrets. And that's the game. Going over to Explicit. Congratulations, Explicit. You have earned your 3rd place. You'll be getting 1600 RP from us. Thank you for playing tonight. Thank you everybody for playing tonight. It's been a great night. I'm gonna update that match. And we are officially concluded tonight's tournament. Once again, this has been Not So Stock Gaming's open bracket tournament. It is still July 4th for, at least in the EST time zone, an hour and 10 minutes. So, to all of our American viewers, all of our American participants, enjoy the remainder of your holiday. Enjoy your holiday weekend. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow or Sunday for our semi-pro or amateur bracket tournaments. Thank you for joining us. Once again, this is Dark Corpse showcasing for you guys tonight. It has been my pleasure to follow these games. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.